Woo!
Got it.
Finally. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the last Beer League podcast of the regular season.
New hat.
Yeah, I got this off of Mo. He does that pickleball clothing wear. This is kind of one of those things, but he's kind of
Mike Morrison, huh? Yeah, there it is. Midnight Machete. I like it.
Yep. So I bought this when I was over at that Sybaris show.
Oh, cool. When was that? When did Phil play?
I played at Wicker Park Fest.
Oh, fantastic.
So a bunch of us went over there and saw him. Cameron and Shelley were there. John was there.
It was awesome.
Just a bunch of good people. Yeah, and they were really good. Really, really good. So I was, I wouldn't say I was shocked because, I know those guys, but they were better than I expected. For being kind of on the shelf for 10 years or
exactly.
Years.
I remember reading about them and have heard stories about how they were getting big at the time and then things just kind of fell apart. Never happened.
I think
love to hear them.
I think a lot of it had to do with them trying to get their business up and running.
Probably.
Yeah. So
it's like riding a bike, unless you can't ride a bike, then it would be like something else that you can do.
Like stealing bikes? Anybody can steal a bike.
I've never stolen a bike in my life.
I've never stolen a bike either, but I assume it's pretty easy.
Yeah. A lot of people do it.
If you know how to ride a bike, it's probably pretty easy.
I like those videos where
I've never stolen a bike.
Yeah. I like those videos where somebody like sets a bike down, it's like chained to a tree or something, and somebody tries to take off, or they've got the bike is all set up and everything's loose, so as soon as they start to drive off, it falls apart on them. Mm-hmm. Or the one where they got the kind of like the seat that zapped your ass.
So, I like the motorcycle.
I just like seeing bike thieves get put in their place.
The motorcycle thief who hops off the bike to rob someone, then the person hops on the motorcycle and takes off and leaves them.
Yeah, those are good too. It's like, you want to rob me? I'll take your bike and take off with it. Fuck you.
You're in a tough neighborhood when you come back and the tree's chopped down and the bike's gone. I tell you, I don't get no respect.
Either that, or that's how they steal them in Alaska.
All right, this is a true story. So when I lived on Potomac in Division, or Potomac and Wood, basically, I was my roommate and me. We had a coach house, and his bike was stolen. And months later, he sees it. There's a convenience store, a liquor store right there on the corner of Wood and Division. He sees it locked up to a pole right there. He's like, I got this. He's like, I got this motherfucker. So he stalked his bike like a half hour, waiting for the guy to come out, right? Then he eventually goes into the store to poke around to see if the guy's in the store. He's not there. He's figuring, well, I'll have to catch him later. But as he's walking back out of the store, he goes to the guy behind the counter. Hey, how long has that bike been chained up out there? And the guy behind the counter is like, a month. He left it there. He was so drunk. He locked up his bike, forgot he locked it up there and thought it was stolen.
I mean, the first thing I would check is the keys of the lock.
Well, yeah, when he eventually went back, it's all his shit. Like his lock, he's
well, I thought it was gonna be the clerk at the store.
Right. Yeah, that happened.
It's a twist.
This isn't a first-hand story, but the drummer I played with at Syracuse, he had a buddy that he remembers getting a ride home. He was drunk, getting a ride home and waving to the ride. And the next morning, his dad came in his room, and he's like, "You left the car on all night," or something. It's like in the driveway, was running all night. He was so drunk, he thought he got a ride home, but he had driven himself home, and that was a bad one.
Wow.
Hey, talking about music, tell me about the origin of the theme song. Did you play all the instruments, Lou?
I did.
So you tracked it?
Some of them not too well, but
You're like Lenny Kravitz.
Dude, it was stuck in my head about an hour ago.
You look like Lenny Kravitz too.
You're like a modern day Taylor Swift.
My guitar playing is not good. So I actually did 2 separate tracks just with the acoustic guitar. One I just hit the F chord. That's how I've been playing guitar for 35 years. I think I picked it up in my 40s, and I still can't go into and out of the F chord very cleanly. So
Can't go wrong with the F though.
So one track I just hit the F chord.
That's what the capo's for.
Know yourself. There you go. You got it.
That's what the capo's for.
Next year, redo the song and use the brown note. As soon as you hit it, everybody shits themselves.
I think I might do a redo on it. We'll see. My son recorded that one for me. Maybe I'll do it myself.
How are we going to know between season 1 and season 2 otherwise?
Remixes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Send out a couple files to us and we'll remix it for you, Lou.
So during the rehearsal when you weren't in it, Jeff, I mentioned that I love Chris's background, that it looks like Nigel Tufnell's house or something like that. So that was the first joke, and then
I like your John's background too.
Yep, he liked the flag.
Nailed it.
And then John, you had something to say about well, I said like you look so clean cut. You got your summer haircut in late August, and then you explained why that was.
It was my mom. So.
Are you stepping on my lines, Chris? It was my mom's birthday last weekend, and went to the Cubs game. She didn't go with us on Saturday. My family, my sister, niece and nephew, all in town, and part of my gift. There's this. I know, right? I saw there's this site called cameo.com where celebrities, you can get a celebrity to wish a birthday greeting or a retirement announcement or whatever. Right. And my mom's from the Southwest. She's a city kid from the Southwest side, and she loves the Hawks. Never missed a game. Doesn't miss a game. I go home for dinner, the Hawks game's on, regardless of the record. And stop me if you've heard this before, you guys. No, and then so I got Pat Foley to call up and leave my mom a video message. And first it shows up on her phone, and it says, she's like, Pat Foley called. I'm like, that can't be the real Pat Foley. And and it's personalized, he puts Janet Kimmler in a call, like, Taze to Kimmler, Janet, goal, all that jazz. She loved it. She loved it.
Oh, that'd be great. There's a lot of actors right now that are going on to Cameo to make money because basically there's that strike going on. So I just saw a report on this today where it's like, okay, everybody's like on there, and the bigger stars are charging like $1,000 for like.
I paid $7 for Pat Foley, and I swear to God he was drinking. But
he might have been.
I wrote a script for him. There's an option where you can write a script, and I spent some time. I wrote this great script. And he threw it out the window, and I've lived the whole thing.
You're like, fuck your script.
Right. Because of the strike.
I've been doing this for 50 years.
Don't tell me what to say. I know what to say. Fuck you.
That would be against the rules of the strike.
You don't like it, you don't have to keep it.
Jeff, to your point, maybe he wasn't allowed to read my script because
you're a writer.
Because of the writer's strike.
Worried about a setup.
Well, are you saying? Yeah, you can't read your script. You're a scab.
I'm gonna risk that for a 16-ounce old style,
Let me get my cord to my computer and my hasty signed up today.
I got it in.
Beers at the park.
Be right back.
So, all right, here's your reality check. How much do you think beers are at Cubs games today?
What is it?
How much is a beer at a Cubs game right now? At Wrigley.
16.
How much?
$12.
Yeah, probably 16 for a premium though, right?
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Remember that thing that
$72 for a 6-pack before tip.
It was either Chris or Phil
Just swipe your card, sir.
Shared it on the Facebook Hot Stove page, but it was concessions from the Mets game in like 1964 or something like that. And it had beer was 50 cents, and then premium beer was 55 cents. You know,
At least minimum wage has gone up equivalently, right? Thank God. Yeah. Dude.
That's when they used to pay ball players in cocaine. For real. They'd be working their dock job in the morning, or rather at night, and to get up for a game in the day, they'd give them, you get your daily supply.
I guess I'm not respecting how much a nickel meant back in 1964. I think that was the year it was. But I'm thinking if I liked that premium beer better, I would have just, I'll go 55 cents on that. I'm only saving a nickel.
Not me.
A nickel
like, I'm not giving those 30 owners aren't getting an extra nickel for me.
A nickel was your street trolley ride home. Hey, talking about the Mets, Lou. DJ Stewart just hit another home run today.
Yeah, Nimmo.
5 in the last 10 days.
Yeah, Nimmo and Stewart.
What kind of music does he play?
Right.
DJ Stewart.
Yeah. DJ
I was
Stewart.
going through my old baseball cards and saw my Mets DJ Dozier rookie card that I had pulled out and thought would be worth something. He's going to be a 2-sport star. He turned into a no-sport star.
Well, you never know. It could still happen.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe like bowling and golf.
He'll become a star when Hunter
pickleball.
Dozier becomes a star.
All right. Let's play the game. Who are the greatest 2-sport stars of all time?
Bo Jackson, that's it.
Bo Jackson, obviously.
Greatest athlete, yeah, for sure.
Tim Thorpe.
Neon.
How about Brian Jordan? Remember him? He was with the Braves and the Cardinals. Oh, the Braves and the Cardinals. Who?
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
What's his name from the Celtic? Danny Ainge played for the Blue Jays for a sec.
He was like Tim Tebow in play baseball.
Okay.
He actually was a starter though in both teams. So
Mickey Lolich? No, he just pitched. No.
Winfield was drafted in 4 or 3, right?
Yeah. He could have played both basketball.
He's not a true multi-sport athlete because he wasn't drafted in hockey though,
Tim Tebow.
Wasn't he had never played basketball when they drafted him anyways?
See, Lou, the Mets wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be that bad if he would have just kept Tebow.
Mookie Betts could join the bowling tour tomorrow.
I heard Spiegel talking about him yesterday, about how he was his favorite player coming up in Boston. He was saying, that he has like perfect form in the golf. He gets 300 games. He's got all this natural ability. He's like, oh yeah. And then after they won a championship, he was like sneaking off and he was working at a homeless shelter, feeding homeless people too. You're like, Jesus Christ, dude, this what a fucking guy, Mookie.
Glavine got drafted as a hockey player too.
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
Left winger, eh?
Hey, should we do the what happened this week?
Yeah, I'll share the standings.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah. This is probably the worst you've done, Chris, since you didn't join us for the draft that one year. You were I wasn't even in the league then.
I haven't had a decent week of pitching all year, but no one to blame but myself.
Actually, the year that Chris finished last wasn't the year that he didn't come. I discovered that or something. I assumed it was, but it wasn't.
I was better those years. Yeah, that's all. I'll hit the fan.
6-0 was Bake McBride, who wasn't at the auction, and I'd say if Satch wasn't doing so damn well, if we had those kind of awards, you'd have to give Doug strong consideration as GM of the year, right? I mean, it's
his re-signing his matching of Bellinger has turned into the master stroke.
Yeah,
he had him matching him at any price, if I remember.
I tried to trade for him before the season started. He has no go on that one. He ghosted me.
And right next to him in the standings, Sombreros went 0-6. So we had the drama in the middle of the standings here.
Tighten up the standings a little bit. I mean, from second to 10th.
You can see, that went too far.
You've gone too far this time, Lou.
The model still thinks that McBride's will have a tough time down the stretch. but should be plenty that they'll be able to avoid last. 10-20. It doesn't like Bizzotti either at 9-21. Look at it, has the Knockers being a 500 team down the stretch. So
all those innings coming back.
So we'll see what
Not gonna
happens.
happen. Not going to happen.
It has the Knockers finishing 3 games behind Hack, but that's that's nothing. Anything can happen. It looks like Satch, it looks like, according to the model, Satch has really got first place kind of wrapped up. I mean, they're predicted to win
20-game lead going into
22 games. But so let's see where it likes the 2 through 5 folks. Daddy's dream of coming in 5th or 6th. It has you slightly below 500 for that.
Yeah.
And it likes Play and Sombreros to do well down the stretch and Spear not to do as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Right now, Spear's got a 4.5 game lead, so they're predicted to hold on, but these things are nothing. The only thing that you can really count on is that Satch will finish in first. I think we can all agree on that, like 85%, 80% chance. No, it's like
I think it's 100.
So the Glance, Buddha Kings are still in McBride's, although it came down a little bit. And Bizzotti is still laggards, but they're up toward middle a little bit, which is what you would expect. Games played overage, Bizzotti, that's probably one of the reasons it doesn't like them too much. And McBride still has a huge underage. So they're doing what they're doing without maximizing their games played. Knockers right in the middle. And IP overage is still McBride's. And Cows are in a good spot. So the Weekend Warriors, Satch went from an 0-6 to a 4-2. And the Daddies spun 3 games of straw. It went from the 6-0 to a 3-3. So.
Oh, don't I know that?
So that just typifies the season, right? I mean, Jeff was first out of 11. Satch was 11th out of 11, and he still finished with a better record.
Still lost a game to him, yeah.
And so predicted top 4 got Spear and Play in 4th. So Sombreros for the time being are the odd man out. And the players of the week, we have John's Cal Raleigh, who has more points than JT Realmuto on the year. So that's
I almost traded for him before the season started. Me and John were kicking that around for a little bit.
I'm guessing
about that.
We talked about it right as the draft ended, and you're like, "Let me think about that." And then, we never went back to it.
I'm guessing John didn't spend $40 or $50 on Raleigh. I could be wrong. Remember,
$1.
I would say that was a better buy than the Lou catcher tandem.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Bryce Harper and Adam Duvall, players of the week for the Knockers.
It would have been great if I had played Duvall in all those games.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of year.
And Mookie Betts for the Cows. He's pretty good too.
Second baseman.
And Sombreros, even though they went 0-6, had Luis Castillo as the top pitcher. And Aaron Nola for Hack was the runner-up. And Bizzotti had Bryce Wilson, 6 innings, and relief pitcher of the week, Arpow. All right. Well, we got 2 people on, so we'll just real quickly look at them. So let's play. You can see the pitching is fantastic. Tops in the league, really, at least on a per inning basis.
Well, he's got enough of them. You can just pick and choose which one's the best one to put in.
Hitting is more middle of the pack, not bad. And I think Knockers had one of the more extreme ones. Like the hitting is decent, and it's above average, and the pitching is bad.
Awful.
My hitting's gotten better. My pitching's gotten worse.
Knockers save percentage is the lowest in the league, but it's at 66%. You know what I learned today was the Texas Rangers for the year have more blown saves than saves.
Wow.
They have a 49% save percentage, which is, it's even worse than the Knockers. And that's what they said on the broadcast today. They said,
and that's with Bochy
no
managing
way.
a bullpen. And people say it's a good bullpen too.
Yeah. Well, Knockers, I mean, you were down like under 50%, so you've done better. Since
The
last time
problem
you
is that
talked
I
to
was
me.
having all the setup guys, so they would only get blown saves and never get a save. So I've actually got 2 guys who are getting saves now, so it's kind of brought a percentage up. But oh, the blown saves are happening still. That's for sure.
You guys got enough of the standings? You want to look at anything else?
Yeah, that's well. I had one of those bad blown saves yesterday. The Cardinals, Giovanni, what's his name?
Gallegos?
Yeah. Usually the advantage of having a closer is the worst thing he's going to do is let in 2 or 3 runs, right? Because he's trying to save the game. This guy only got through 1 out, 6 runs or something like that.
Ooh. That'll wreck your day.
Yep.
Well, I had to get rid of Otani
I picked him up.
because good for
I
you,
noticed
but
that,
he's not going to pitch again this year, and they're not putting him on the IL because he's going to be hitting, so you're kind of fucked.
He's on the IL
He's
already.
on the IL.
Would they put him on the IL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris picked him up.
So is he not hitting?
No, they
Yeah, they're
He's
Angels
half
are
and
giving
half.
up.
2 separate entities. Yeah.
It's 2 people for us.
So wait a minute. He's not officially on the IL though. How the fuck is Yahoo determining that?
Yeah.
That is strange, actually. Yeah.
That is strange. I agree.
Like, that's exactly. I'm like, they wouldn't do that before when he went on when he didn't pitch.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are they doing it now?
This is odd parallel universe called fantasy baseball.
This is somebody in Yahoo not know what the fuck they're doing half the time. Anyway, I don't care. To be honest with you, Otani,
He's not pitching next year either, so yeah.
Otani's a mediocre pitcher. He was a mediocre pitcher pretty much most of the year.
I was going to spit take. He's not mediocre. He's got 3.14 ERA. He's great.
Yeah, he's better than most of my pitchers.
Well, not for $20 and hurt.
Yeah.
I saw Gonsolin is going to have Tommy John.
Him too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, I dropped him.
That was
I
a small.
actually stowed him on my IL.
That was a small move, but I was expecting I could pick up Gonsolin at whenever I woke up the next day without having to, claim him on waivers. But you got him. So I was like, damn, I should have just put a waiver claim. But now I feel a little bit better that he's
And he's gone for
Tommy
12 months.
Yeah, he wasn't doing that well this year. He wasn't getting the wins like he did last year. I think he had like 17 wins last year.
Which is why I wanted him for my team because he fit,
But he hasn't been doing
is he
it.
mediocre enough to be on my pitching staff? And he is. I can't talk like that this year because my stats are okay. But if you look at the names on my staff, I don't think anybody would be too jealous of the names on the staff.
Names didn't help me with Alcantara, B.E.E.R, and goddamn Alex Manoah.
Oh, he was terrible this year.
He's back in the minors. Yeah.
Again?
Yeah. Thank God.
Goes from Cy Young Award winner to back in AAA.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to point out was Bake went 6-0, and the Josh Jung is back on the IL. So you would have, I don't know, you wouldn't have. I don't think you would have predicted that they would go 6-0. So that was a nice 6-0. I guess they feel safe now, right? That they're not going to come in last. I mean, I think they're up by like 15 games on last with 30 to go.
How about Seattle? All of a sudden, Seattle's in first place in the AL West. I did not see that one coming.
No, I mean, especially they get rid of their closer. I mean, I know that Munoz is definitely more dominant than Seawald is, but it doesn't seem like that's the move you want to make when you're still trying to make the playoffs,
Didn't they do that 2 years ago or last year when they got rid of Graveman? And the team was making a push, and I don't know, they're screwed. I think they look at bullpens differently there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it helps them not to have Seawald, but they did get Rojas, if you like him, Josh Rojas.
Baseball is life.
And I know he's done well since he went there.
They got some young pitching coming up. I think that's what's really helping them.
You got to wonder, like, if Kelenic hadn't been an idiot, which, young guys can be, I thought that he really screwed them by, he kicked the dugout step or whatever it was and broke his foot or ankle. I don't know what it was, but even without him,
He kicked a cooler, didn't he?
Yeah. They got a lot of young outfielders, though. They got more coming.
They got rid of.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah, please.
Okay, okay. A couple podcasts ago, you were talking about the dilemma of putting all that research and digging around and finding a minor league player, and then the conundrum of that when they come up, you have to get rid of one of your players. You have to clear roster space before you might not even know how good they are.
Well, that's been a thing. I mean, sometimes I've had to drop guys right away.
Would this be a solution? What if, and this might solve some other questions too. What if the league expanded their bench?
Oh, dude, we're
at the Yahoo Max right now.
Oh, you're kidding? You can't.
No,
you
know what you can do? What I tend to do is I think Curtis Mead and Aranda came up for me for Tampa Bay, and I just kind of left him on the NA spot for the first week. It keeps me from making other moves. I can exchange my lineup, but I can't make other moves. But you just gotta leave them on the NA for a week and see how they're doing. You're like, oh, this guy is not as good as I expected. But I mean, it only gives you a week or so to kind of make the choice. And a lot of times,
Mead's good because I've heard of him.
And then when you're stuck with a lot of day-to-day, at one point in the season, 5 day-to-day players.
Oh boy.
Where it's I mean, then you're really tight situation, and there's no way to customize to get a bigger bench. I'm surprised.
No, Yahoo's been on a 30 max probably for at least 15 years now, and I don't see that they're going to change anytime soon. I was surprised that they added the NA squad. It was a 5-man NA squad. Then they went to 10, and IL might have been DL back then might have been 10 originally. I don't remember, but the active roster has been 30 since we've been there, since 2006 or something like that. That's just the way it is. I would have liked to have gone, a couple more.
Yeah.
But we're at the max, and I don't expect that they're going to change anytime soon. If they do, then we could
But that's part of the payoff too, is that if the guy winds up hitting, you have a $1 player for the next auction, or he's a $1 keeper for the next year, and you fit on a star. That's why you take the gamble for it. Sometimes you have to give up your 30th or 29th guy, and it's often a mistake.
It is a little strange that, and definitely in basketball and hockey, maybe football, they have something that's an IL plus, which is for guys that aren't on the IL, but they're like game day decision or whatever day to day. That would help us a lot if they had a little IL plus, 5-man IL plus for us. That would be nice. But
those sports, maybe they'll have it in September, because I know those sports have you have a 53-man roster, and then you have 55 guys. You have to declare the 53 for football, and same with hockey. There's guys on your roster who aren't active for the game. So I know in September, no, they're just activating 2 more guys, right, for the roster in September now. We go up to 28.
Yeah, 14 and 14. I think it has to be 14 and 14 too. I don't think you can have 14 pitchers. But actually, NBA has 12-man rosters, right? And they have this IL plus thing.
Right. They do it right.
Well, they're the same. They have 15 guys in your roster, but you declare 12 for every game to be active, right?
Yeah. So the IL plus thing or whatever, that would be more likely to happen than the Yahoo expanding the rosters past 30, because they're doing it in at least basketball and hockey and maybe football. You guys would know. Do you run your football league on Yahoo?
Yes.
Do you remember? Do they have like an IL plus thing in football? I can't remember.
No, you can put them on the IL and you can bring another player in. But now they come back off the IL. Before, when you put somebody on the IL for the football, they were done for the season. Well, IL was kiss the death of their season. Now you can actually, I think they've done this with over the last 10 years, where you can put somebody on the IL, and then it could be like 6 games later you can bring them back off of it.
We have
remember a while back though, if you put somebody on the IL, they were done for the year.
Yeah, that was even like 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Well, since he's leaving real quick, let me take the dog out. He's been up my ass. I mean, I had him out there. He
comes in Homer.
He hasn't pooped yet though, so he probably has to drop a deuce.
I recognize your shirt, Chris, from one of the auctions.
Yeah.
There's pictures of you with that one on.
I have had
What is
worn
it?
this
What
at
is
many
it?
auctions. Yeah, in
What is it?
celebration of the Oakland A's winning 2 games at the
Oh, it
Cell.
is an A's shirt. Are you in any form an A's fan?
I just like the concept of the team. You know that how they set up their team on a low budget. They were doing it forever. I always liked the A's from the '70s. Actually,
Yeah,
I got into them with Finley and the swinging A's and all that
they
stuff.
were always a cool team. I mean, back then
Yeah.
they were cool, and then the Moneyball era they were cool because they were doing things out of necessity and it worked.
Exactly. They were like the Spartans team, or they were
They
thinking
reinvented the
team.
sport.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was went through a phase where I was finding out watching the giveaways they would have at ballparks. I saw the Oakland A's always have pretty good giveaways. So I went on, I think this was like 5 years ago, and saw what they were giving away, and saw they were giving away their shirt.
So you must have liked Moneyball, the movie. I mean,
Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought the book was good. The movie was fine. Yeah, Jonah
that's
Hill.
one of my favorite baseball movies. I mean, I don't know, like top two, I guess, for me.
That was one of the last Fat Jonah Hill movies, right?
Was it?
The Fat Jonah Hill. Remember Fat Jonah
Yeah,
Hill?
yeah.
When
Yeah,
was
he
little.
played a combination of he was based on De Podesta, but
Podesta, yeah.
he didn't want to be involved in the movie, so they kind of, instead of going to Yale, which is I think where De Podesta went to, he went to Harvard or one of the two. No, I think De Podesta went to Harvard, and in the movie Jonah Hill went to Yale, right? Something like that. But they made him an amalgamation, whatever, of people. But
I thought the movie was fine. I don't need a subplot about his family life and his daughter writing a cute little fucking song. It's tugging my fucking heartstrings shit that
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
it's just unnecessary to me.
Maybe I'm more sentimental, but I enjoyed the whole thing. I liked it. I guess I like baseball movies that bring up the off season part of it. To me, that's
Yeah.
what I really like about baseball. There's like a sadness at the end of the year, and I like the change of seasons, and I love how when we're gearing up for baseball, it's like when our part of the globe is gearing up for another year too. It's a good parallel. I don't know.
And you got like a baseball movie where they don't win in the end too. There's something about a baseball movie where they lose in the end, and you appreciate the
Bull
6
Durham.
months and the whole message and the journey of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what you said, Bull Durham. I mean, that's what I like about Bull Durham. It wasn't like they had to win the championship game. I actually bought the book, The Church of Baseball. That's written by, what's his first name? Shelton, who he wrote the screenplay.
Right.
He's Derek Shelton's brother. I can't remember his first name. But he was saying that was important. Was that
Shelley?
Ronnie? Maybe it's Ronnie.
Shelley Shelton?
But he said that was important for him. He wanted to make a sports movie that didn't have to do with the the big game, because he was like, that's not even what is the big turn on. Like those things are flat, in movies.
Exactly.
They try to do that.
That's the easy narrative.
He hangs around the minors to get the all-time record home runs.
Yeah,
That's great.
He said he didn't understand that the record for career minor league homers was much bigger than in the movie. He said like it was like 247 or something like that. But the minor league record's like over 400, I think. There was a guy recently, right? He had the record.
It's a dubious honor for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that one too. And at the end of Bull Durham, it's raining, and it feels more like fall's coming, and I like when baseball movies do that.
Yeah, it's great.
That's
nitpicking.
It's the best part of the season. It's when all the games start. That's my least favorite thing about goddamn sports talk radios. As soon as baseball starts getting really good, football comes in and just takes over everything.
Yep.
Oh, starting on Sunday mornings, I don't hear my baseball talk, and all this is pregame.
Nitpicking about Moneyball. He goes to the Indians when they were called the Indians.
Guardians.
He goes to their offices. This is after the season, and they show a window shot of the foliage out in Cleveland. It's green. It's summer. It's not like changing. those
I
leads
thought
would
it was
be.
Boston. I thought it was Boston.
No. He goes to Shapiro's office and he's talking about. That's when he first meets, Jonah Hill or whatever.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And
I like that
Kind of
movie.
if you look out the window, it's like that's summertime, man. I mean, I'm sure it was California anyway, but I mean, it's not even trying to be like it's October. And
Plot flaws.
That's one of those movies. It's like whenever it's on, I have
nudity.
to stop and watch.
Which one, Bull Durham?
No, Moneyball.
Moneyball. Yeah, I love Moneyball and Bull Durham. I told you I never saw Major League. I have not ever seen it.
It's a hokey one. It was good. It doesn't have much staying power, but the jokes are still kind of funny.
Yeah. I haven't seen Fever Pitch. I never watched that one.
No,
that one's all right. Is that with Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, the Red Sox one.
Right.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore. That one's actually fine. It's pretty good. It's not bad.
How about I think Trouble with the Curve? I'm thinking
I remember that one.
That's
That's Clint Eastwood.
Oh, Jesus.
That was the one that I thought you guys would ridicule me for, but like that's in my top baseball movies, and you wouldn't think it. It's got Justin Timberlake, but I think it's good. I mean, it's not great, but it's definitely good, and it's better than most baseball.
Does it have boobies, Lou?
No.
No.
I'm probably
Clint Eastwood plays an old crotchety scout, and then you got these younger guys thinking they know better and shit. They want to take this other guy first, who's this big masher guy, and he's got this pitcher who is a groundskeeper or something that was discovered throwing really hard. And,
yeah, he works at the motel. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I liked it. It was good.
I always like Bad News Bears. That's one of my favorites. They lose at the end, and it's just the kids have a fucking beer. It's like, yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Well, what's the movie with Rowan Gardner?
Who?
Rowan Gardner. That kid that broke his arm and shit, and then came back and was throwing BBs.
Never saw that one either.
It was terrible. Angels in the outfield, terrible.
Yeah, I can't watch the Little Big League or whatever it's called. I don't like that one either. I don't know.
Sandlot's still pretty good.
Sandlot's good. I thought Mr. 3000 wasn't so bad.
Mr. 3000? Yeah. Well, was that one with Bernie Mac, or is that the one? Tom Selleck was in one too, right?
He was, and I don't know what that is.
Mr. 3000 was Bernie Mac, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I'm glad you mentioned Trouble with the Curve because every time I saw it, I was like, I like this one. It has the young GM guy that doesn't do his homework. He's the one that was in Scream. He was one of the killers in Scream. Did you ever see Scream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this counts, but Brewster's Millions.
That wasn't bad. He wore a Cubs jersey.
Yeah, well, he was. It was Brewster was a Cubs pitcher, and Dan Candy was his catcher.
A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That one I don't like too much. I don't know.
I've never seen Bang the Drum Slowly. You guys seen that one?
I saw that in camp when I was a kid. It was sad.
I saw the one on Pornhub, Bang Your Mom Slowly.
Hey, no. That one, not so sad, unless it's your mom.
No,
it's your mom.
Like very sad. But I think
have you ever read Ball 4?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read it. Is it worth it?
It's dated.
Yeah.
It doesn't really hold up very well.
I know Moneyball, the one thing that's really dated in Moneyball is when he says defense doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it does matter. It's just that they couldn't
measure correctly.
Gauge it then,
I heard a great stat today about the Milwaukee Brewers have the best defense in baseball, including by far the best defensive outfield. That is taking the Brewers with Frelick, Yelich, and whoever else is playing.
That's even without Garrett Mitchell, right? He's still out,
exactly. Right? But it's over the whole season. They said that their batting average of balls in play in the outfield is 71 points lower than anyone else's.
That's what I noticed when the Mets played
to the ball, and then
Brewers.
they cut you off before you get to the extra base.
The Mets played the Brewers in April. I was impressed because like it's nice to have young outfielders, right? I mean, like they can like cover some ground. But the Mets have brought in Marte. That's just not the way to go, I mean, you got a guy that's already played his best ball, and it's just going to get worse. They got him for 2 more years, Marte. So I mean, he's a good player, but you get older, right? I mean, you can't.
Hey, let's make up porno names for all the baseball movies. So you got Money Shot instead of Money Ball. Trouble with the Curved Penis. What's another one? What would be a good porno name for Major League?
This is 3,000.
This is 3,000. Yeah, there's 3,000 guys in the room.
It's a long room. You get your money's worth.
Bang the cum slowly.
Bang your mom slowly. You remember a movie that was around the time of Major League, and it was about these guys from a cuckoo farm that were going to a Yankees game, and then their chaperone got beat up in the alley, got taken to the hospital, and the rest of the guys had to figure their way home or figure their way to the game.
Oh yeah.
And it had oh fuck, what's his name? Peter Boyle, Christopher Lloyd, the guy that played Newman.
It wasn't One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
No, it was called Dream Team.
Okay,
those guys were in that too, right?
And what's the other guy who played in he was Batman, but he was also in Birdman.
Right.
Keaton?
Yeah, Michael Keaton was in it as one of the nuts. That movie was good. It was really good.
I'll
So
check
if you
it
ever
out.
get a chance to see that movie, I mean, it was done back in like 87, 88.
I'll check it out.
Dream Team.
It's called The Dream Team.
Dream Team.
Dream Team.
So in porno, that would be Cream Team.
Yeah, we already got there, Jeff.
Reverse it. Bravo!
He scored.
How about that week for the White Sox, huh?
Yeah, GM, huh?
Jesus Christ.
I've been saying it the last couple podcasts. They need to clean house.
Yeah.
Who knew that Jerry Reinsdorf was watching our shit?
Yeah,
And
right.
Listening to Jeff.
Yeah, he's got feelers out everywhere.
It's funny. He really needed to get rid of Kenny Williams, and he probably needed to reassign the GM. Geez, I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
Han.
All of the stuff
But
I've
he
been
couldn't
reading,
just get rid of Williams. He had to get rid of them both.
all the stuff I've been reading is that basically shit hit the fan when Kenny Williams came in and overrode everybody and decided to trade Jake Berger to the Marlins because one of his underlings, Kristen Nigg, she is now the general manager of the Marlins, so he's got a good relationship with her. So basically, don't
called
act
him.
like you
That's
own
the
all
thing.
his shit yourself. If you really want the team to win, don't give away your best home run hitter to a fucking team just as a favor.
Not only your best home run hitter, your best home run hitter who's also a fan favorite and under control for the next 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah,
The only guy who's a fan favorite right now. One of the positive things you have in your team. And there's like, no, you get the fuck out of here.
And if you do the under the hood look, if you look at his StatCast page, he's right up there with the top 10 guys in the league.
He's hitting 370 since he's moved there. Since he's in Florida. Yeah.
His numbers are right in line with the top hitters in the league.
He's more athletic than I would have thought.
Down.
He's like fast.
They put him at second base, and he held his own.
He was the fourth fastest guy on the team, I think.
Yeah.
For real.
And that puts a lot of pressure on the guy who was traded for him because now this lefty's going to have to come here and replace Jake Berger. You kind of need this kid to come in and be part of your staff. You gave up fucking Berger for him, right?
But wouldn't Reinsdorf have to approve that anyway, or is it
Kenny made the
total
deal,
autonomy?
Kenny made the deal, and Han supposedly didn't want to do it.
How is like a team president or team vice president, whatever the fuck he was holding, able to override and make a deal with 2 teams out of 30?
He's above Han on the hierarchy. though.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's above Han on the hierarchy. There's no other general manager in baseball that's going to say, I can trade anybody I want to these two teams, and you ain't got shit to say about it.
The same team
Who
that had their
does that?
owner override the president by hiring a manager. Think about that.
Yeah.
So he's just like, fuck it. If he's going to do that, I can do that. There's been precedent set.
It's just Kenny Williams
Screwy,
is a horrible,
screwy.
horrible executive baseball
Well,
executive.
the good news is that Williams is gone, and he was the bad one, I think. You know,
My
and
guess
I
is
think,
he ends up in Miami.
I think it was Sean that pointed out a couple of podcasts ago, when a couple of his second podcast, that Hahn was really like a contract negotiator. He's like a money guy. So there's, you know, he it's not like the Sox have a bunch of terrible contracts. I mean, I know that they've been unlucky with injuries and things like that, but you could probably have reassigned Hahn to the area that he would probably do a better job at, and you know, they just needed a GM. But I don't think there's any way he could get rid of Williams, who was like a son to him or whatever. That's what he said, and keep Hahn. So they kind of had to both go in a package deal, you know.
Well, there was so much of a shit show in that last trade deadline. He had to get rid of both of them.
Mm-hmm. And promoting Getz ain't going to make it any better.
No, and bringing in Dayton Moore. I mean, I don't know if you heard about Dayton Moore, but he got ousted from Kansas City because
he's a lunatic.
He brought these guys into the locker room to talk to his players about not watching so much porn. I don't know how much porn they were watching, if it was always on their phone in the locker room or what, but you know, it was just one of those things. He's a crusader. You know, he's always got these causes he tries to push on the players. Dude, you know, mind your own fucking business and just do baseball. How's that?
Like Reinsdorf just wanted to bring in a good Christian into the organization. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, you know, you're bringing in this evangelistic Joel Osteen listening fucker who just wants to fuck up all the fun for everybody.
I don't know if
Pat White Sox should hire Pat Fitzgerald.
I don't know if you guys got the text that Sean sent out. He might have just sent it out to Sox fans, but he was obviously disappointed, you know, with who they hired, you know, after getting rid of Williams and Hahn. Because, you know, Dayton Moore, like I said on the thread, you know, like he became too old fashioned for the Royals even. Yep. That's kind of doesn't bode so well, you know.
Why would you keep looking at the team that's worse than you? Honestly, I mean, everyone else is looking at Tampa Bay. Everyone else is trying to poach from the Dodgers and steal from other people. And the White Sox keep looking at, like, oh, maybe if we got Sal Perez, it might help us, you know. How about Dayton Moore, you know? And yeah, he could work with Grifol because he knows him from Getz from KC. You're like, how many fucking guys from KC?
Well, maybe Getz will do a good job, and you have to hope.
Are they just that they'll work for cheap?
And you have to think that the Sox will be better that Williams is gone.
Well,
it can't be worse, right?
If you notice, one of the things Reinsdorf likes to do is he likes to give people who probably shouldn't be in that position a chance because he can control the fuck out of them.
Like Ventura.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kenny Williams. You know,
Paxton. Yeah, he hires people and promotes them so that you've never had this position before. You also don't know how to be treated.
Our foreman, Jerry Krause.
You know, you've never been a president, so you don't know how a president should be treated. So I can treat you like this.
That was Sean's point about Rick Hahn. You know, like it's not like he doesn't have any value, but he probably GM was probably not his thing. You know,
it's
could have been behind the scenes, like working out.
And they had Kinang too. They had her. She came up through the White Sox. They could have had her. Chose not to.
Yeah.
Yep. White Sox are fucked for a while. And you know, well, here's the thing: they're gonna have to get rid of a lot of those players and get them off the team. I mean, Anderson's got to go. You got Eloy Jimenez has got to go.
Anderson's doing
has got to go.
Anderson has they have an option on Anderson next year, $14 million.
Yeah, well, they're not going to exercise that, I bet you.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer a year ago, and now it's like it's probably not going to happen.
They took the one guy that was the glue of that team and sent him off packing.
They have no one else to play, though.
Nobody else picked up the reins to be a leader in that clubhouse. Nobody. Not one person. The one guy that was playing.
They didn't keep Rodon. They didn't. I mean, I know Rodon's been hurt this year, but they didn't keep. They could have kept him cheap last year.
Yep.
Well, they could have kept what's his name, fucking Cueto, who pitched well for him last year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just they have no leadership on that team. And the one guy that was actually playing pretty well that brought the good light to the team, they traded to Marlins. You know, the Burger.
Bet the general manager didn't even want to trade.
Vaughn is no leader. You know, I mean, Yasmani Grandal could give a fuck.
Yep, he's gone.
You know, he's making his money. He don't care. You got Colas in right field, who's a rookie. He's not even going to open his mouth. Elvis Andrews, never been a leader for any team. He's at second.
I think he's the current all-time hits leader that's currently playing
for the White Sox.
Yeah. No. Like I think he has the most of all active players. I think he has the most hits.
Wow. Oh, it doesn't tell you how old he is.
Yeah. He's like the new Edgar Renteria. He did play for a long time. Goddamn, he had a lot of hits. All singles.
They haven't been the same since they let Lurie Garcia go, man. That guy was a stud.
Oh, Jesus. That was another
Who's the other guy?
They're on the hook for so much money for that guy. They signed him to a 3. This is another Rick Hahn fuck up. They signed that dude for a 3-year deal this year. And then they decided to cut bait with him. So now they owe that fucking schmuck 2 fucking seasons of money. For nothing. For somebody who couldn't play in the first place. Oh, he plays a lot of positions. Yeah, but he plays them all mediocre.
Yeah, you should be a Mets fan.
Money. You got to see the A's and the Rays got to look at those signings and just go, what the fuck is the league doing? I mean, the Cubs did it with Bodie too, right? You know, it's like he had a good month and then said, hey, we'll sign for 3 years for $12 million. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And now he's in AAA. Making us money good for him, but
you talk about dead money though. Look at the Mets with Verlander, Scherzer. Cano is under contract this year. $20 million. I mean,
think about it this way though. Cohen basically just bought those people, then traded them and bought himself a farm system. Then, right? So I mean,
yeah.
You got Luis.
It's basically like Luis Angel, went $30 million over slot for $35 million over slot for Luis Angel Acuna or something. You know.
I mean, a team would probably do that if they had a chance. If you had a chance to go buy minor leaguers in an auction starting next week, I mean,
but I'll guess that Cohen didn't get his 14 or 17 billion running his businesses like this. You know, it's like they're smart guys, and then they become baseball owners, and then they're just like complete dopes. You know,
I'm convinced they're still making money though. I mean, they might lose money on their payroll and through some creative financing, but you can't tell me these guys, any team is losing money.
Wait till you see the crowds at Citi Field gets in September in that office anymore.
White Sox playing, they lost $55 million last year.
Michael Jordan made $3 billion off a team that couldn't make the playoffs.
Exactly. And how much did Reinsdorf pay for the White Sox back in '79? $19 million. Yeah, and the team could probably sell for $2.5 billion now, right? So,
well, that's where going back 20 years, like the owners talk about operating revenue. Yeah. Even if what they're saying is true, which it probably isn't, they won't open their books. I mean, I'll take a net operating loss if I'm going to sell a team that I bought for $20 million for $3 billion.
You know exactly in 40 years. Yeah, so, fair trade. Yeah. I'll even lose money every year if I have to, if I can, clear $2 billion at the end.
It's too bad all those stadiums have already been built, because I think
not the Sox new stadium. The Sox are moving. Did you hear?
Taxpayers have smartened up.
Here's
they
the thing:
realize that these guys should pay for their own damn ballpark. Of course,
exactly. Their fucking teams are worth fucking billions of dollars. Why the fuck are we paying for your park? You fucking.
It's a ruse. It's a ruse that they were able to until 9/11 or something like that. Like until about that time.
And they always use that. Well, we'll
got away with it.
Team, and you won't have a team. Fuck you.
Go right ahead. Like, and here, the people running the Nashville team today, I should have saying that they're not really We want an expansion team. We're not really interested in the White Sox. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't want you. But we will take the Royals. Give us the Royals, give us the Tigers. We just don't want the White Sox.
I saw that the Guardians, they traded Savali to the.
You can get shot at some of your field right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can get what?
Shot.
Well, here's the thing on that. They believe that the shot came from outside the ballpark, which makes
no. They released some today that they said that they're pretty sure. First of all, how often have you ever heard like when someone gets shot randomly, that the first thing that they release like, well, it's probably just some random dude shooting a gun in the air and it hit that
Those
there.
bullets do come down, right?
Oh no! You do some investigation trying to find a gun, and then maybe you.
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald's already dead. So.
Well,
Hey, so I went to the Cubs game on Saturday, and then I saw the Dead and Company 3 weeks ago on Friday.
I'm sorry.
No one. You didn't walk through any kind of there's no pat downs.
Well, the thing they use there, they have the gate they use now is supposedly they're saying on the score is the one that detects gunpowder. So it's not even a metal detector, the one at Wrigley, and they move faster and they detect gunpowder, and that's what they're looking for.
Note to self: wipe your bullets down and clean your gun before you go in.
But I mean, if you think you go and you hand your bag, and someone kind of looks in your bag and then pushes you.
They glance at it. You walk in. Yeah.
All I would say is like, if someone had brought a gun into the cell, or guaranteed right, or if a security guy or a cop had a gun in there, or someone like let the cop bring his gun in, and it went off by accident and shot somebody, how would they handle it?
Well, first of all, you got to see where the wound happened on the woman. I mean, if it was her leg and it was the top of her leg, that just tells you that shit came out of the sky. But if it's hitting her in the side of the leg, and the entry wound is going into the leg, then that just lets you know that, it was within the park that she got shot. I mean, it really depends on how the injury looks.
The terminal velocity of a bullet coming from a mile away, I don't know that could really get itself lodged in your calf after grazing your thigh, too. We'll see.
I'm no ballistic professional, but I've watched a lot of first 48.
Magic bullet.
I think the White Sox security manual has the second step is blame it on a Cubs fan.
Oh no, they blamed on Vanilla Ice. They canceled the Vanilla Ice concert.
Yeah, right.
Like the game, keep the game going.
Oh, that Vanilla Ice! It had to have been Suge Knight trying to ruin it for him again.
It's a publicity stunt to get his street cred back up.
I like that angle, John.
I'm going to go out on a limb here tonight, but I think Vanilla Ice is as important and vital today as he was back in his day.
I think Nico's, when they were next to Lemming, should have had a Vanilla Ice take.
So I was going to say that I noticed that the Guardians dropped Syndergaard.
Yeah,
the Guardians dropped Sogard?
Syndergaard. He had a bad start and they dropped him. So they traded for Syndergaard. They also traded away Savali at the time that they were one game out of first.
Yep.
It's really an odd set of. So I was going to say that Syndergaard, possibly no one will pick him up, right? It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody will.
I'm thinking that if the Rays pick him up, that means that he'll do well, right? I mean, but if the Rays,
Cleveland's good with their pictures, though.
If the Rays don't pick up Syndergaard, that's a death knell, I think. You know what I mean? Like it means like even the Rays don't think they can fix this guy. So
I think the Cleveland Indians have so much pitching in the pipeline that they didn't need Savali, and Savali was kind of like injured a lot, kind of up and down, and so
they get rid of guys.
No sense though. I mean, you can justify it. Like, you're a game out in a terrible division, and Savali was pitching well. I mean, even if you're looking toward next year, like, okay, we probably wouldn't sign him. I don't think you could trade him in that. Even if I was the GM,
McKenzie got hurt,
I don't think I could trade him in that.
Got hurt. I mean,
well, you have to look at his WAR against replacement at the time. It's like if he's fucking losing you games and shit, why keep him around?
You could even do this. You could offer him to the Rays, and if the Rays want him, then you better keep him.
Then you hold him.
If the Rays don't want him, then you're like, okay, yeah, we can trade him.
Did Savali get traded too?
To the Rays.
To the Rays? Okay.
Yeah. That to me, that I would have like a meeting, a staff, whole meeting, like, okay, we're making a mistake here. What do the Rays see? All right, we're not doing that deal. Even if they didn't even understand why, I would think like, the Rays want a guy, say no.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with Florida baseball here because there's some hurricane that's supposed to hit pretty soon. I know this.
It's aiming towards Tampa too, but they're indoor.
Yeah.
And they moved last time a hurricane hit? They moved to Houston, didn't they, or something?
Thing is, you can't play a game in a hurricane because people got to get to the ballpark, and if you're going to play it in an empty ballpark, that defeats the purpose.
No one goes to Tampa anyways.
Dude, that's the worst stadium I've ever been in.
You're the only person I know who's ever been to it.
Oh my God! It was like they had the Rays, the fish that were in the tank, but the tank looked like fucking diarrhea. It was so brown. Nobody ever cleaned it.
That's the way the fish like it.
And then you've got the ceiling that's too low because people keep hitting the fucking rafters up there. But also the outfield looks like a fucking hobo's pair of pants. There's patchwork all over the fucking place. Where they wore something out, and rather than replace a big stretch of it, it's just like, let's patch it in there. It looks like some poor kid's fucking knees back in elementary school,
I just like any description that uses the word hobo. It's always a good thing.
Hey man, I come from the era of like Bugs Bunny cartoons from the 50s.
We all know exactly what you meant.
You got the stick with the fucking like bandana with all of the shit in it. That's this days modern, grocery cart is that old stick with the fucking bandana.
I bet I was reading an article about the Rays taking all the Wander Franco stuff down. They've removed all of his signage. He still has a space in the locker room, but yeah, they've taken out all his names, all of his pictures around the stadium. No more.
Something tells me he ain't gonna be in baseball much longer.
Really? I haven't heard any follow up on it.
Well, they said that there was a second accuser of the same crime, supposedly down in both in the Dominican, and that the Dominican is investigating it. So
yeah,
it turns out that he is that all guaranteed? No matter what happens, or what?
No, it's not. I was reading an article I was reading. It said that Tampa Bay would be able to get out of the money, out of the contract.
Would insurance pay Franco, or is he just shit out of luck?
I think it's written into some sort of clause they have.
Conduct policy or something?
Yeah, exact conduct clause.
Yes.
Whatever it is, it's totally terrible for the fucking Rays. I mean, pitching aside, this ain't going to help them at all. And it doesn't look like he's going to play again this year.
But this also could be another case of the Rays just overcome it. It's whatever. They'll find someone else to play goddamn shortstop, And who's this superstar? Asshole.
I mean, they wouldn't have traded Adames, but,
Yeah.
But they'll overcome.
Who did they get in that Adames trade?
Yes.
Rasmussen, maybe?
Who? It was a pitcher I wanted to say.
I might have gotten Rasmussen, right?
Yeah, good call. That was very good call.
Before I get too far off topic, I was going to ask you guys if you thought it was ironic that the Rays and the Marlins were playing in California when a hurricane hit there. It's like if you heard like the Rays and Marlins games are going to be canceled because of a hurricane, you wouldn't go, oh, they must be in Southern California.
Number one, that's the first hurricane in my lifetime that's ever hit California.
Yep.
So that was an anomaly.
Yeah.
I was in Tokyo when a tsunami hit, which I found out tsunamis are just Asian names of hurricanes.
Well, tsunami was a fucking wave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Cyclone.
It's called a
Cyclone, right?
Cyclone, right? All right, cyclone, yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's in the Pacific, it's a cyclone. Is that the deal?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Maybe or Southern Hemisphere.
It's something along those lines.
I thought the Pacific had cyclones and the Atlantic had a hurricane.
Yeah, that must be it.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
I thought maybe it was Southern Hemisphere, but I know Japan's not in the Southern Hemisphere.
But in America,
I want you to know
they're all hurricanes.
So why is it Brooklyn Cyclone?
Apparently.
Good point.
Also, you know, cyclone was another word used for like a tornado in our language here.
I mean, why is the Mets single A team the Brooklyn Cyclones then? Short season team. I mean,
Twisters.
Well, because they're
That's
not
like
very
The
smart.
kind of like
the Cyclones are
Tough
scary.
devils.
that's meteorological appropriation, right? They can't call it a cyclone.
They've been the
Right.
Brooklyn Son of Sam's. That's a scary.
We should name the teams after their local serial killers.
Yeah.
Chicago
There you go.
Gazeys.
Chicago Gacy's, the Iowa BTKs.
Milwaukee Dahmers.
The
You know,
Dahmers taking on the Gacy's.
Florida Bundys.
you guys know about the current serial killer running around Chicago, right?
Oh, the one that
Oh,
keeps
tell
throwing
me.
like millennial men into the fucking river and lakes.
Something like that. He's called the smiley face killer or something like that.
Ooh, tell me. What do they know about it?
I didn't know about it either until women are really into true crime. If you didn't know this,
Yeah.
they're the ones that filled me in on what's going on. Yeah.
So why is it called smiley face?
There's a string of like 20 bodies that have shown that have been found in the river.
Devil in the
Not
White
just
City.
the river, but the lake too.
Okay, the lake, whatever. But that's the MO that seems to connect all these dead bodies, is that they're all being disposed of the same way.
Huh.
With a smiley face?
I
Yeah,
don't know where that comes in.
they actually just found one right over there by the Costco in the river. Like over there
Yeah.
at Damon and Fullerton. The last
Wow.
one was right next to the salt shed.
Yeah, a couple.
And it's the same like thing. It's like a guy who's like kind of skinny, tall, 27 years old. Around that age.
I'm in the clear.
Yeah, no shit, right? I'm just gonna walk around and like kind of peep and see if I can see somebody stabbing somebody or throwing them in the river.
I'll tell you a real quick story. So I used to work at this bar called the Hachi Tachi on Division State. Does anyone remember that?
Yep.
John, this is not a confession, is it? Should we stop recording?
No. So here's the deal. So these guys, people would call up. When do the strippers come out? You know, it's a 4 o'clock bar. No, I got the wrong idea. So Hachi Tachi, Paul McCartney came in one time.
Sir Paul McCartney, by the way.
Yeah.
What's that?
Sir
Paul McCartney.
Oh, you got it right.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Long story short, these construction guys that would work on the buildings would come in for their liquid lunch, right? Do beers and shots of tequila, and then go back and run around on rebar. These guys were fucking cowboys. Except there's this one older guy that would come in with his sack lunch and order a Coke. And
Did he go one hard cider, please?
Yeah. So finally, after a while, they asked the older guy, "Tell him the story." Well, he was right on the corner, State and Division, right on the corner there, on the southwest corner. He was working. It says like Caribou Coffee Now or something. He was working on that building. Got off of work, left his car parked in front, went down to Rush Street, came back from Rush Street, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the lights are on in there. So it was like someone left the lights on. He put the key and goes in there and was startled by a coworker that came out of the basement in his underwear, covered in sweat. But he knew the guy because they worked together. And sometimes guys would bring dates back home to the site, right? Because they can't bring them home or don't want to bring them to a hotel. You bring them back to the work site and put down a towel. That happens. So anyways, so whatever. Well, it's John Wayne Gacy, right? So he walked in on John Wayne Gacy doing something in the basement, right? At 4 o'clock in the morning, covered in sweat. Yeah. And so fast forward to when I was bartending there about 15 years ago. Kitty corner, so that's the southwest corner. On the northeast corner, first the reporters come in, then a couple of days later the cops come in. Have you seen this guy? I'm like, nah, his face doesn't look familiar. Turns out this guy Miglin, who lives right there, and his garage is right behind the bar, right by where the dumpster you take the trash out. He had tied him up and ran him over in his car, and then went on a murder spree and killed Versace, that Cunanan guy.
Oh, yeah.
So
no shit.
On State and Division, on the southwest corner, John Wayne Gacy at work. On the northeast corner, Cunanan killed somebody.
Within like a jaywalk
of each other. Isn't that wild?
Man, maybe you shouldn't be in our league.
No, it's just let's just not have the auction at that place.
There's
Man.
a bad shit. There's a bad juju that follows Kimmler now. I mean,
Don't
Yeah,
kill the messenger, dude. But yeah, that state and division 0-0 Chicago. Some shit went down, man.
Yeah.
I guess very few people will ever watch this, but I played touch football with a guy that was convicted of murder.
how did you play it? What were the rules?
Oh no.
But he had a restaurant, and it was drug related, and he killed the guy, and he chopped him up, and he stored him in the freezer at the restaurant.
What the fuck? And he's
Well,
out.
any sane person, that's the way they're going to store a dead body.
And it was free. I didn't know him well. I just knew him from that one. It was a friend of Diane's friend's brother's friend. So I played touch football, and he was just like a guy in a crew cut, and just seemed like a meat and potatoes guy. But that was freaky. He was.
And that man's name was Chase.
I don't know his name. I can't remember his name. But the restaurant was probably in Genoa, maybe, or.
So you hand him the ball,
I don't
you go
know.
untouched to the end zone, right?
But yeah, it was freaky. That was, I don't know, it's 30 years ago, I guess.
Probably made a good chili, huh?
Oh my. Oh my.
Are you right back?
Don't eat other people's chili.
But he wasn't, just, it was a killing with a purpose. I guess that would be less scary than just a person that's just killing at random,
So,
right? But
so that was your team serial killer name?
yeah, I
So
was
what-
on his team
what did you
too. Like
call
it was like 3-on-3, and I was on his team. I remember so jeez.
Gonna
Oh.
need a new receiver this week, eh?
Yeah, that was bad.
Understatement.
Prison ball. You're playing some serious prison ball there, dude.
I should ask Diane about him. If she doesn't know anything.
Wait,
Getting kind of melancholy, Lou. I don't like this.
Lou, we're missing the obvious question, the elephant in the room. Were you in the yard too? Were you all in prison together? Or did this game happen outside of the yard?
No, it happened at Diane's friend's house. And,
Okay.
the game happened there, but I guess the murder was at his restaurant. I don't know.
Because that would beg the question. You were in with him. What would a guy that chopped up a body being out on the street playing touch football?
Well, this was before he committed the murder, I think.
Oh, got it.
Maybe post-murder, pre-discovery.
If you would put me and him next to each other, and you said like, "Hey, one of these guys is like, buying drugs and stuff like that," I don't think you would have chosen him. But he looked like just like I felt like I almost had to like normal up a little bit, like. But I guess it wasn't the case. You just don't know people, right?
Learn that lesson, Lou. Learn that lesson. The people
Yeah.
you're trying to normal up to, usually murderers. Usually murderers. Don't impress them. And the murderer is really hard to impress, actually.
I wanted to show him that I could play football, and that I'm a sports guy too.
Don't kill me. Don't kill someone else.
Well, we should try to bring it back to beer league, or at least baseball. I can't think of anything.
Touched base on base. We touched baseball a little bit a couple times.
Well, Chris, what we should talk about you, because you're like kind of like the New York Yankees of the league. Although you've got Satch who's coming for you on the altar, but you still have 6 championships. So you're the closest we have to a New York Yankees of the league. But this year's just been terrible. So what happened?
All went wrong. It all went wrong. I really liked that. I even told Jeff going into the season that I thought my team was great, but I was worried that since we lost a team, those 30 players split up between the 11 teams, we'd all think that we'd have great teams because we were 30 fewer guys picked. So I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good. I was really happy going into the auction with my plan to get all my big hitters, spend nothing on pitching, but then pitching went so cheap. So I even hopped on free $20 pitchers, which I was all pleased with. And every one of them went wrong. And not only just that, but pitchers I picked up were poor. I streamed relievers. I couldn't get my reliever streaming right. And then my guys got hurt, and I paid the price.
I mean, I remember thinking in the beginning of the year that you had Harper coming back, and he came back earlier than we thought, and he did well, and he has done well. And by the way, I think Harper is a better baseball player, or what I don't know.
Than fantasy, yeah.
Then like he's a more of a gamer than I think we could have ever thought, right? And then Tatis too, right? You have Tatis.
Yep.
So and Tatis has been healthy. So I would have thought those two things. I would have thought, geez, if Chris is like 5 games out on June 1st, he's going to win because he's going to get Harper back and all that stuff. But
I never got any relief pitching figured out. My guys got a lot of hurt, very hurt. And then I even thought I was doing good enough. I was still like 10 games back. And then I made that trade with my second trade with Doug when I got Tucker. But I gave up Gunnar Henderson, Ellie De La Cruz, Alcantara. And that's when
Alcantara has not done appreciably better since you traded him. I mean,
he's been similar. And I had Chris, to be honest, I had picked up Chris Morel for $1, and he's been similar point-wise to De La Cruz until a couple weeks ago. Gunnar Henderson has been better. I mean, Kyle Tucker's been great. So even I thought that trade worked out well. My hitting would be good, but yeah.
I don't think the rest of your team liked it, Chris.
Long term, you can't be.
I think you took out the clubhouse, the good clubhouse guys, and left the clubhouse cancer behind.
Long term, you can't be too disappointed in Tucker, though. I mean, he's a good guy to have.
His second half has been great. I think if the Astros win the West, that he would get some MVP votes. But especially this last 3 weeks he's really turned it on. And ironically, I always liked that guy. I like watching him play baseball, and I like that he had a quick routine, no batting gloves. I traded for him. He put batting gloves on like the second game I had him, and he's been wearing them ever since. Okay, whatever. You do.
I traded you De La Cruz in March for Marcelo Meyer.
Exactly.
Well, then I traded for 25 fab dollars.
I'm hoping that Diego Cartaya works out the same way.
I think part of the reason why the pitching's been, it was hard to value pitcher for, the pitch clock definitely changed things. But I think another thing too, the balanced schedule, the unbalanced schedule really made a lot of pitchers look a lot better than they really were because you're playing you're playing shitty teams over and over again.
Exactly. Those NL Central
100%
aces and AL Central aces were really good.
Right. If you're beating up on the Tigers and last year's Kansas City, I mean, of course your stats are going to be inflated,
But like Sonny Gray is pitching a more balanced schedule this year, right? He's not as much in the Central, and he's done well. So I don't know.
Sonny Gray is an oxymoron.
Yes, he is.
Well, I've dropped a significant portion of my draft day players. I dropped Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Marte.
Oh yeah, you got tired of Eloy too?
Oh God, dude. And Buxton would probably be off if he wasn't on the IL.
Exactly.
I mean,
those guys. I swear to God, those guys that are perennially on the IL. I have to stay the fuck away from them from now on because it's like they do me no good. Absolutely no good.
We're all tantalized by the one potential healthy season.
Yeah.
There. Look.
And meanwhile, Phil is just rotating his guys out, making 450 moves, making us all look stupid, leading by 20 games.
He has been up my ass since I got on.
Good looking dog.
Last time I heard that, I was at the Wiener Circle.
Hey,
I've got this broken out by position. Do you want to go through these things and just you can look at it and just say what comes to mind, or do you want to skip this whole thing?
Go ahead.
Real quick, I got a Wiener Circle point. Did you see Wiener Circle is offering free food to touring bands and comedians as they pass through Chicago?
So this is top catchers.
That's cool.
Rushman's top catcher.
Well, go figure.
That guy's great.
How about William Contreras?
Better than Wilson.
Yeah.
Will Smith, Cal Raleigh. So Smith and Raleigh are right next to each other, and there's got to be $40 difference.
And look at all that money that lollygaggers paid for catchers, and they're coming to fruition.
Yep.
Real Muto,
Got him in the money.
And Melendez for the Knockers.
Melendez is not very good, dude. I will be the first one to tell you. Look at that, 453 at bats. He's got almost as many at bats as Rutschman, and he's got 80 plus points.
He's got more strikeouts than he does hits.
Dude, exactly. He bats leadoff for a shitty team, and he plays right field all the time.
Yeah, he's not going to have catcher availability next year, right?
I don't know if he catches 10 games, he will, but I don't think he has.
No,
Yeah,
that's going to make him not very valuable as a position player.
Nope. But a catcher, it's worth it.
Catcher, look at he's like 7th.
Yep.
But other positions, it's not going to be the same.
But for $1, you'll take it. It's just
so first base. Freeman's on top for the Spear. Matt Olson for Sats. Christian Walker, Sombreros. Pete Alonso for the Gags. Nathaniel Lowe for the Dads. Goldschmidt for the Gags. These are new acquisitions. And Justin Turner for Bizzotti.
Does Turner still fucking produce?
Yeah, dude. I think he was he even in the auction, or did he pick him up free agent?
He got taken in the auction, I'm pretty sure.
I think he was he might have been kept.
Or yeah, one of the two. Yeah, I mean he wasn't like he was bypassed. Second base, Mookie Betts, Semyon, Betts for the Cows, Ozzie Albies for the Cows. So that's nice.
Look at the Dads.
Cows have some good options there at second or at least middle infield. Cattell Marte for the Dads. Justin Turner showing on the list again, 5th at second base, 7th at first base for Bizzotti. Nico Horner for the Dads and Ryan McMahon for the Dads.
I really like Nico Horner as a ball player.
I do too. He reminds me of like a modern day Ryan Sandberg.
He reminds me of Pedroia.
Yeah, he just doesn't hit as he doesn't hit with as much power. Maybe that's going to come in the next couple years, but
his swing and
he does everything right.
Are beautiful, man.
Yep.
They have such great, beautiful swings, man.
Yeah,
he does everything right. He's fundamentally sound,
Yeah,
and you know what? Madrigal's looking like he wasn't a bad trade.
You got some for Kimbrel, and he's cheap, so
you can see.
I want him to be a starting third baseman, but
No, he's not a third baseman. I mean,
utility guy though. Yeah, I'll take him.
It almost makes more sense to put Horner at third base.
Or if David Bodie comes back,
Oh, Bodie ain't coming back.
Yeah, Candelario, dude.
Horner and Swansby both get Gold Gloves this year.
They both had an error tonight. You see that first inning?
No, I didn't.
That sucked.
Who was that third baseman the Cubs had like 20 years ago that was supposed to be good and didn't?
Kevin Ory.
What? Yeah,
Kevin Ory.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Gary Scott.
Oh yeah.
Ty Waller.
Bill
Brett
Miller.
Beatty.
Bill Miller.
Should we keep going?
By the way, I've realized from doing the podcast that I'm going to stop making predictions because, like, I said Dallas Keuchel. Why would the Twins want Keuchel? And he's pitched well for them, and Kyle Hendricks. I was like, he's done. He pitched well too. So
look at Lance Lynn at the Dodgers now.
I'm just going to observe and make fewer predictions because I don't know what.
I think when a lot of these players aren't performing up to snuff, I think a lot of it is personal issues, whether it be with the team, the locker room they're in, shit that's going on at home. Maybe they just don't like the town. Maybe there's some kid getting maybe there's some guy having his son bullied at school in this town, and he gets moved to another town. He's like, well, that fixes everything. Now I can stop stressing out. Just
That's
little
shit. Sean claimed that Tim Anderson's problems are due to he's got a couple of baby mamas.
Yeah.
Chasing him.
Maybe I should pick him up next year to become a baby.
Not that it's their fault. I shouldn't phrase it like that.
Maybe you're having a bad year because Mike Clevenger is your teammate.
You make your own bed, right?
Yeah.
Bobby Witt
I
Jr.
love Jose Ramirez.
Look at that. Bobby Witt Jr. top
third baseman.
That's awesome.
Also shortstop, but for the Dads, Alex Bregman for the Spear. So, I didn't think Bregman was having such a good year. He is. Austin Riley for Hack, who started off slow, so he must be kicking ass now because he's got 30 homers. And I remember the beginning of the year, it seemed like he wasn't having as good a year.
Do you guys think Jose Ramirez is on path to being a Hall of Famer?
Yep.
Yes.
Me
Yep.
too.
Yep.
No, he's not on the Yankees.
You mean the last place Yankees?
Yeah, isn't that great? They had that little altercation.
Yeah, with the
And,
Rays.
and I
Yeah,
think
he
it was
knocked Tim Anderson flat on his ass.
Jose Ramirez nailed him, dude.
Oh yeah, but it was a lucky punch. You wasn't even looking at where
Oh
he
yeah,
was swinging.
completely.
But I think it was
those count.
Brandon Lau for the Rays gave a nice little dig to the Yankees because he said, like, look, we're playing playoff baseball here. That's what we're concerned about. You know, the Yankees are a last place team, and you know, so we're not really concerned with these kind of things. You know, I thought it was such a nice dig.
It really was.
It was nice turning the tables, right? Rays, Yankees. You know?
Get in that last place team dig.
Yeah. We get someone hurt, it's important to us because it doesn't matter to them because they're in last place. Yeah, nicely played.
All right, so Devers for the Dads, number 5 at third base. That's a trade acquisition from Satch.
Yeah.
Justin Turner is appearing on this top 7 list as it's turning out 3 times now. 6 at third base. So yeah, Turner's
Spencer Steer, what a nice waiver wire pickup there.
That guy was good.
on Kimmler.
I like it.
That's somebody that's epitome of somebody getting a shot and taking the advantage of it.
Yeah, he's a rookie, man.
Mm-hmm.
See, he's a rookie too.
Red's got so many rookies coming up now.
I tell you what, though, he's in running for Rookie of the Year in the National League right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Corbin Carroll's still a rookie?
Oh yeah, he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
You could get MVP.
They have Noelvi Marte, and they also have Cam Collier. So there's more on the way. They're not all up yet. You know. But they chose to extend Hunter Green, right? I made that Raiders of the Lost Ark joke about that. You know, like maybe they shouldn't have done that with Hunter Green and these pitchers, and like, you know, maybe do it with Ellie or somebody like that. You know.
Hey, Chris, you brought up Jose Ramirez, or somebody brought up a Hall of Famer. Look at this stat right here: 55 strikeouts, 58 walks, 55 strikeouts, awesome. 136 hits.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So that right
nowadays
there,
you don't see that anymore.
And on top of that, he's got 21 stolen bases. So when he does walk or get a hit and not strike out, he's stealing a base too.
Yeah, and he plays second and third base. The guy is just fucking great baseball.
And he can hit everything. Look, he's got singles. He's got a good amount of doubles. He's got a good amount of triples, and he's got home runs. The guy
he signed a contract to stay in Cleveland. It's not prohibitive from them signing other players. You never hear shit about him. He might be.
I think when he got in the fight with Tim Anderson, that's the first time he was ever ejected from a game.
Exactly.
And I think the reason why he didn't get in a fight with him, when you explain later, is like Tim Anderson doesn't respect the game.
Yeah. Well, Tim Anderson also put his hands up and challenged him to a fight. So, I mean, there you go.
That was buffoonery.
Tatis.
Yeah, I don't know what style of fighting was that.
and he's right-handed, and he had a lefty stance, right?
It was like a fight in the baseball stance, is what it was. I'll get you.
There's only one difference: a punch connected.
Exactly.
All right, so here's shortstop. Betts is on top as far as shortstops, and Semien. Bobby Witt Jr. for the Dads, who's had some good weeks recently. Lindor from McBride's. And here's Nico Horner again, 5th at shortstop, and I think even better at least 6th at second. I can't remember.
Witt is 20. Witt's going to be 30-30 this year, isn't he? It's already at 26 homers and 38 stolen bases.
Tatis
but think about like when Wander Franco went out. He's been out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. Where was he before he went out? He was probably in the 20s somewhere.
Yeah.
So Tatis, number 6 at shortstop, but he's not going to qualify there next year, I think.
Well, I tell you what, I've been riding my whole season. I've had basically just 2 shortstops, and they're both in the top like 6. So I like
Witt
that.
and Horner.
Look at Schwarber.
Who's your shortstops? Witt and Horner, or somebody else?
Fucking Thomas. God damn it.
Jeff?
But Witt and Horner.
So then who do you use at second then?
Either Kettle Marte, Ryan McMahon, or I use Nico Horner normally. I just keep fucking Witt in there as a shortstop.
Dude, I'd claim Lane Thomas the first week of the season and loved him. I had so many outfielders, I dropped him right away.
There he is.
That kind of season.
Number 5 at left field.
I had him twice and dropped him twice.
Yeah.
Look at the stat line on Schwarber though. 89 for 471.
Look at
and
this.
Out of those 89 hits, 36
homers, 36
runs.
singles.
30. Oh man, that's crazy.
I think that Schwarber's knee is so goddamn bad. He just doesn't want to have to run the bases, so he's just
look
gonna
at that though. He's got 100 walks.
I know.
Holy shit!
But he's also got 166 Ks. He's got
Who cares if he's got 100 walks?
He does hits.
He's hitting 189, and he's
his OPS
at left field. He's a real anomaly, right? I mean, this is not Dave Kingman.
There's a reason why I got rid of that fucking guy. Hey, yeah, he's putting up points and shit, but you go fucking 4 days, 5 days with goose eggs, and then all of a sudden you get 12. You know?
Yeah, well, the reason he maintains his value is because he bats leadoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
And he hits homers.
He walks.
Well, that. But if he was batting 6 and hit homers, he would not be this high on the list.
Yeah. He wouldn't have as many bats. Yeah. OPS is 784 right now.
Yeah, 784 OPS is not that great.
Nowadays it is.
If you're getting over 800, that's good. That's real good.
So Corbin Carroll's on top.
Under 800 is, I think, mediocre.
We'll check out his OPS plus, and then that'll tell us his.
It's only like Schwarber's is like 114. I just saw it tonight.
There you go. He's 14% better then.
But in the beer league, he's good.
Yeah, exactly.
How about a Randy Rose around the arena?
Randy Rice-A-Roni, I call him.
I think it was yesterday that Corbin Carroll tried to score and on a hit to center, and Ellie De La Cruz got the relay and threw a 99-mile-an-hour dart to home plate, got him out.
I'm tired of hearing about people's fast throws. I don't get off on that at all.
But you should see it if you haven't seen it. It was a nice, because if he couldn't throw that hard, Carroll would have been safe. I think Carroll had to be like, what? He had to be surprised that the throw beat him. You know, it wasn't.
Check out this stat.
How about the resurgent Jorge Soler?
Yep.
Yeah, that's been nice.
He's I heard he's negotiating an extension with Miami. They started opening talks with him.
Oh, that's a good place for him.
Yeah, that's good. I just checked out Schwarber's stats. He's 114 OPS plus, but his WAR is negative 0.1 this year.
That's terrible. That's fucking so weird.
Isn't it? 36 homers, 100 walks, 14% better hitter.
Hey, guys, I got to take off.
All right, John. We'll see you later, buddy.
All right.
All right, JK.
All right, see you, John.
Hey,
the haircut looks great.
Looking sharp.
You look like what's it in Wyatt Earp? Sam Elliott.
I'll take it.
Yeah, there's an opening in there.
All right.
In the Yellowstone franchise, there's an opening now, John.
All right, I'm done for you.
Yeah.
All right, take care, you guys.
See you, bud.
Well, I gotta be wrapping it up soon too. It's 10 o'clock. I got another couple minutes if you want to.
Yeah, I'll go through the positions real fast.
Sounds great.
And then
Corbin Carroll for the Sombreros, Juan Soto number 2 for the Dads, Yelich for Spear, and that's a thorn in Jeff's side.
You know, I never thought he would take him at 40-something. So I was just like, nobody's going to take Yelich at 40. He's just not that type of player right now. And then all of a sudden he comes back and has a great season. And
it's nice to see him doing well. I mean, it's not like it was.
He's not hitting 40 home runs.
This is way better than he's done in a long time. Schwarber number 4, Lane Thomas for Hack, Rosarena for the Knockers, Jorge Soler, and Ian Happ for Hack. Would you think that Ian Happ was the number 8 left fielder in baseball?
No.
Yeah, he came back real. You know, he started off slow, but then he made his way back. It's like Bobby Witt. He was okay until like the All-Star break hit. Then he blew the fuck up. Oh,
Julio
speaking of
Rodriguez
blowing the fuck up, Julio Rodriguez.
He's on top
That
at center
guy's
field now
a player.
after that hot stretch. Corbin Carroll's only number 2 at center field, number 1 in left. Adolis Garcia for the Dads.
Who knew?
Lane Thomas, number 4 for Hack. Luis Robert, Sox Pride, number 5 for McBride's. Tatis for the Knockers, number 6, and Cody Bellinger for McBride's. And the Cubbies. I guess the Bellinger thing worked out better than anybody anticipated, right?
You know, if I were the Cubs, I would just kind of consider just signing him as a first baseman and, you know, letting your guy Pete Crow Armstrong come up and stuff, you know. Put him at first. That's where he came up when he was a rookie and shit. He was never a center fielder. They realized, but Los Angeles realized, well, we've got another guy who can play first base, and this guy's athletic, so let's give it a shot. And he becomes a great center fielder.
I think there'll be mutual interest there. I mean, like, Bellinger, does he want to go to the Yankees or something, or does he just want to stay with the Cubs because he knew it worked? It worked there, you know.
I'm hoping they re-sign him to a long-term deal. To be honest with you,
Would you pay 8 years for $240 million for Corey Bellinger?
I don't know if it'll take that, but
I
maybe
don't know if I'm going to go 8 years, maybe 7. I mean, he's a little older than, like, you know, some of those guys that are getting the $10 million contracts.
You're gonna have to pay more. You have to accept what even it's even 7 for 225.
I think you could do.
Think about what Ohtani's market is now.
Dude, that makes me sad.
You know, he was a guy that was
really
going to get
well.
probably
I think
60 fucking million a year.
They drove Ohtani into the ground, and now his signing number will be lower, and maybe they'll be able to keep him. You know, so.
You can't. And
well played.
Marino's happy about it, right?
Anyways,
the Angels might be happy about it, but it doesn't mean they're going to sign. He's going to sign with the Angels.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody might just sign him. He might just take a good deal with somebody, or maybe sit out a year.
Nah. Someone will pay him $50 million.
No.
Just to be on their bench immediately.
I've heard 2 theories. Either he signs a long-term deal or else he signs like a 2-year deal with someone who's really good at rehabbing.
Well, here's the thing, though. He's not going to start the season as a hitter.
Yeah.
If he gets Tommy John. You know what? To be honest with you, he should get, you know what? He should say, fuck you, Angels. I'm getting Tommy John right now.
Harper did it last year. Harper came back from the Tommy John surgery and DH'd after like 5 months. So they say he could be ready by May for DH.
Yeah, but you know, if he's gonna, he should think about doing it immediately so he can get ready to hit for the next season. Mm-hmm. He won't be able to pitch for a while, but at least he'll be able to hit. And you know, a lot of people are going to want that bat.
Then it comes down to your lifestyle. I mean, think they're human beings, right? It's like, I'm sure he has things that he wants to do. I'm sure he wants to go back to Japan and see people, or do you want to have your surgery right now? Get everything done to be back as soon as possible. You know what?
Or you do your surgery and go back to Japan and take a year off and fucking rehab back there.
I'll pay here and let someone pay me $35 million at least for it. Someone's gonna pay him a lot of money just to hit.
Yeah, but just think. Here's the thing, though. Every one of those contracts has an insurance premium on it.
Exactly.
His insurance premium is going to be through the roof.
The Strasburg contract did not. No insurance.
Because the insurance company wouldn't do anything with him because he had so many fucking Tommy Johns. They're probably not going to even give it. This is his second Tommy John, right?
That's Ohtani's second Tommy John. That's what I'm saying. If he can get insurance,
so he's probably not going to be able to be insured. His contract's not going to get insured.
Changes the market. Kyle Tucker
does. Anyway, Lou, keep going.
All right. Junior top right fielder for the Sombreros. Mookie Betts, we've seen him before at second and short. Kyle Tucker for the Knockers. Corbin Carroll for Sombreros, and we've seen him at left and center as well. Adolis for the Daddies. Also saw him at center. Juan Soto. He was number 3 at right. Lane Thomas, there he is, all 3 outfield positions.
There might be like 5 30-30 guys this year.
Well, that's because of those bases there. They're closer.
Yep. It's cool.
And it's all about launch angle, and it's about, you know, stealing bases.
Shohei's number 2 as far as utility. He's the only guy on here that's just utility. DH, whatever you want to say. Starting pitchers.
See how my guy Zach Gallen's doing right now.
Gallen for the dads. Garrett Cole, Hack. Luis
How about
Castillo.
that, Chris? I got to
Yeah.
scout the #1 pitcher in the league of 2023 live
On our
4
trip.
years ago.
That's great. That's a great story.
I love that
Nope.
shit.
I haven't heard the story. Tell the story. No.
Oh no, you've heard it like fucking 5 times. Even what was it? A couple like a
Bill
podcast
stopped
ago,
you.
Bill cut me off. He's like, we've heard that story 3 times. I'm like, yep, you're probably right.
Garrett Cole for Hack. Luis Castillo, Sobreras. Spencer Strider for McBride. Justin Steele for the dads.
Who do you guys like for Cy Young this year? Gallen in the NL.
Well,
Hard to
it's
give
gonna
it
be
to Cole,
between
isn't it?
Gallen and Strider.
Yep.
And Steele is in the mix though.
I'd love to see him. He's young.
He's young, but you know what? If he finishes out the season strong and picks up a couple more wins, gets to about maybe 17, 18,
Mm-hmm.
why not him?
Yeah, exactly.
His ERA is low. I mean,
I put $10 on Strider to win the Cy Young at the All-Star break.
Justin Steele was out a couple extra starts, and he's got 14 wins, where it's like you got Spencer Strider with 26 starts. He's got 15. You got Gallen with 27 starts. He's got 14. So if you give him those 3 starts, he might be at 16 right now.
Yeah.
So, you can't fucking rule him out. Plus, he's given up the least amount of earned runs out of any of those pitchers. He's got 43 earned runs as opposed to 59 and 58. Regardless of the regardless, not irregardless. Why do I do that? But regardless of they've got like a start, 2 starts more, or 3 starts more. I mean, the way he's pitching, he's not going to give up like 15 fucking runs in 3 games.
Yeah.
So I've got to say Justin Steele's got to be in that mix pretty serious.
I'm really impressed with the Cubs' young starting pitching between Steele, Assad, and Wicks, who just came up.
Dude, Assad has been good. Assad was never meant to. I don't think Assad was supposed to be a relief pitcher. He's a terrible middle relief pitcher.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a starter, and the last 3 starts have been quality.
Yeah.
They're going to need it, without Stroman. So that's
exactly.
But you also got, they say Cade Horton is going to be one of the top prospects in all of baseball next year.
I know the Cubs could have 4 young starters as soon as next year.
Yeah, they start looking like the Braves.
And just hold out and then keep those kids and then spend your money on stars, young, cheap pitching. We'll see. Could be fun.
I'm fucking digging it, man. I mean, and then you keep Hendricks in the rotation. I mean, Stroman, I don't think he's pitching this year. I kind of like him, but I don't think he's a Cub.
Yeah. I think something happened. He got injured somehow. I don't think we're getting the full story.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Sergeant Peterson, Chicago Police.
If I tripped and fell,
I did that one before.
Did something, I wouldn't tell anybody about it. The way everyone treats everyone now, being a free agent.
It's like that Colorado outfielder that was carrying deer upstairs, and then
exactly.
Jeff Kent was playing basketball, but his injuries looked concurrent with a motorcycle accident.
Well, to finish up, Steele's number 5, Logan Webb for Stats number 6, and George Kirby for Hack number 7.
Awesome. George Kirby came out of nowhere.
Maybe if Kirby has a strong September, he could be a dark horse candidate.
That guy's a great pitcher.
How much do you think? What's his name? That LSU pitcher is going to go for next year in the draft?
Steens.
Yeah, Steens.
I'm not
Mr. Raleigh Stingers.
I haven't followed this that closely. You guys know better than I do. Like these guys that were taken in the draft this year, they won't be on Yahoo the rest of the year?
Nope. Not unless
they get taken on the 40-man roster. There's not a whole lot of teams that will do that. I mean, every once in a while you'll see a player get thrown on the 40-man roster immediately.
Like Chris the Angels?
Yeah, like Chris Sale. Chris Sale would be one of them. But yeah, I mean, it's very, very rare that you see somebody who just gets drafted up playing before the end of the season.
The Angels will draft you in July and then call you up in August. Yeah.
Yep.
And here's relievers. I just sorted up by saves to get rid of all the starters. So Duval
Sorted by current.
Bummer.
That tells you that tells you the true thing. By saves, save doesn't mean nothing if they're getting you minus 16 in between saves.
Yeah,
So I always like going by current, where they're currently ranked.
that's good. I got the Orioles closer now that Batista's out.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Cano.
the reason I did
Strider
this is
doesn't
that
really count.
we've got all these like starters in here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But if we scroll down, you got Batista is your number one closer.
Batista,
Then
Alexis
Diaz,
Diaz,
and then Devin Williams,
Williams.
Doval.
Duval for Bizzotti.
Scroll down a little bit. Then you got
Finnegan.
Lorenzen getting traded, throwing a no-hitter. That was kind of cool.
Finnegan is the best pitcher on this whole list, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I traded him.
For
Just
Let's
Cano.
Play.
And Class
No,
A,
will be the
Class
closer
A is
now,
better than Class
right?
B.
Yep, I got him for next year.
Yeah, that's
Assuming
nice.
Batista has surgery.
Jordan Romano for Let's Play. David Bednar for the Dads. Tanner Scott for Spear.
Wow.
Where's Hader?
Here we are.
Well, Mr. Larkin, it was fun.
Great.
And
Always
really
enjoyed
missed
your
you
company.
last week.
Yeah, thanks very much for the covering for me last week. That was a last second marching band. Mirror's in the marching band now. It's really fun watching them.
Nice. What's she playing?
She's on the bass drum.
No shit.
Plays percussion, so yeah, she's doing bass drum. She wants to work her way up to snare, and then she also wants to be a drum major too. So
Well, get that girl doing like some sit-ups and shit. If she's taking that bass drum on her chest and stuff, you don't want her like, walking
She
around
has
like the
this-
hunchback of Notre Dame and shit.
she has the smallest one of the four, so they took
Nice.
care of it. But yeah, she's shown a real interest in the music, and it's really exciting. She's hanging out with the drum line now and the battery. It's pretty cool. Some upperclassmen and some really cool girls are in there too. So
My brother used to do that. My younger brother Greg used to do that. He was in the drum corps for the high school and shit. My mother gave him drum lessons when he was in like junior high, and it just kind of followed over. He actually took piano lessons before he took drum lessons. So
that's what Mira did. She took piano, then she got in percussion, and now she's in the drum line. Oh, yeah. But yeah, but just keep you busy. But thanks for last week, and it was nice seeing you guys and chatting again. It's always nice catching up with you guys.
Yeah, you know what? We might do one more after the World Series and try to get as many people on as we can.
Cool. That'd be great.
And I don't know, maybe we'll have to have like Lou dictate who gets to talk and stuff like that, so we're not just all talking over one another.
Or if we want to do a watch party for any playoff games too, it'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely. People love streaming. I don't know, man. Don't get me started. I'm starting to sound like the old man with all the social media shit and how everybody is so fucking vain and all the kissy face looks in the all the selfies. I'm so sick of fucking selfies. Oh,
that's not our generation.
no, it's just like, have some modesty, and I mean, not to be like a prude or anything, but the fucking phone doesn't have to be in your face 24 hours a day.
We weren't raised with the phone.
Oh my god, this
the only thing you have to take into account though
is influencer shit's not a real job. It's just it's a fucking guerrilla marketer is what it is.
No, but there's algorithms that are just running on your phone that are set up to keep you on it. And for a younger kid who's unaware of that,
hey, if somebody's paying you money, it's a
job.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it's not work. It may be a job.
That's what I've heard.
Don't want to sound like gulag, but it's not work.
So theoretically, we would be empty nesters here. We just dropped our youngest off at college yesterday, but the older two still live here. So.
Exactly.
They may live there for another 10 years. You never know. You got a basement? Yes, you got a basement. Well, guess what? Now. That might not be your basement much longer. That might be his little condo. Oh, shit.
Well, say hello to the family, Lou. I have to get going and go say
All right.
goodnight to my family.
Well, if we
Yep,
don't
I
see
just
you,
saw
if we
Kristen
don't see
walk
you in
by.
if we don't see you for that big shindig in the fall, online
No,
shindig,
I'll make a point of it. I'll be here.
then we'll see you in April.
I already have the March 9th written on my calendar.
That's kind of the earliest we've ever done the auction, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fine with me. I'll be there. Just tell me when to be there. I'll be there.
it's before the time change though, so that's good. It's not the Sunday. It's the
Even
Saturday.
better. All right.
Well,
Great
I
seeing
tell
you
you what,
guys.
next week
Thank
I'll be
you very
on
much.
vacation. So, Chris, I will be calling you.
Yes, we have a lunch plan next week, so looking forward to it already.
Yeah, you know of a good place, or do you want to try something that you've been seeing online for a while?
I have a couple places picked out, but I'm open to any suggestions too. So we'll see how we're feeling like that day.
All right, sounds good to me. It's probably gonna be that Wednesday. I know
Yeah,
that
I have
Tuesday I
heard
have
that.
my football draft. And then it's Taste of Polonia weekend.
Oh.
You know what was fun is that the one year it was the day before the auction. It must have been a Friday. We went to like a Thai place. Like me, you, and Norm, Jeff walked on like the bike trail, I think. And
Oh,
we met Chris.
that was Sticky Rice.
Yeah, that place good.
That was good. That was when it was over by the gas station off the 606.
Yeah.
Now that they demolished that whole area and now it's a big fucking building. And then Sticky Rice moved down to like by the Green Eye.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Oh,
That
yeah,
old
that's
Anamali spot.
Yeah.
So they're not as good there. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. I tried and it was not good. There's a very pared down menu.
That's not working.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Very soupy. Which I wasn't expecting.
Soupy
but
rice.
anyway, I know Chris is trying to get out of here, so
Yeah.
we keep.
Great seeing you guys. Thank you very much.
Chris,
Good
two
to
more
see you
things
as well.
I wanted to bring up. No, I'm just kidding.
And
yeah, it's last place. I'll tell you, last place. Yeah, it all sucked.
Thanks, here's the one thing is I think with all the musicians that we have in like the team or in the league, that maybe people bring over guitars and somebody brings a 4-track with a fucking mic, and you make the next
Beer League
the next Beer League podcast theme song at the draft.
Because everyone's up for hanging out after.
I have electric guitar. I have a bass guitar. Somebody's just got to bring over a drum kit and a keyboard, and we're good.
It's got a very complex chord structure, though. I mean, it has like an E flat.
That's
9.
okay. You can play all the parts.
Don't worry, bro. I'll follow you.
Suspended
But just
fours.
take
I
input.
feel the vibes. I'll see you later, guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, buddy. And
Chris,
then
one
there
more
was
thing.
2. Well, sorry about the late start today. It was my fault.
That's all right. We got it going.
And then once I was like fucking in a panic. I'm like, shit, it's 8:15. I just woke up. Fucking get the goddamn thing on, and I'm sitting there running around. I usually have this ritual and how I set the whole thing up and stuff, and that's why I was bouncing so many goddamn times. Like I forgot this, I forgot that. But yeah, man, what a long season.
So I think that you want to get off, but I kind of like when you do the leaders on MLB Reference. If you want to do that, but if you want to go out, that's fine too.
Oh, let's do the album. Nah, fuck. I mean, I've got a nap in. I'm good, but it won't let me minimize this shit to bring it up. Okay, hold on a second.
I'm so focused on like beer league points that I don't look at like the individual stats very much, so it's kind of nice. I mean, occasionally I get Sports Weekly, which used to be Baseball Weekly, and occasionally I'll look at the leaders that they have there, but I'm just so focused on just the composite numbers or whatever. Beer league points. That's what I mean.
1 second here. Share the screen.
Beer league points are good, but it's not
all right.
Perfect.
Here's our standings. Looks like we got Baltimore leading the pack over Tampa Bay by 1 or actually 2 games. Toronto's kind of far out, man. I mean, but they are actually in the mix for the wild card. Boston, they're in the mix for the wild card, but not as good as Toronto, and New York is fucking done. They ain't doing shit.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit so we get the wild card standings.
Minnesota, whoever wins the Central here is golden. Everybody else is fucked. And then here's what's fucking it all up. Is you got a good East and you got a good fucking West.
Yeah.
And you got a shitty Central. So I mean, for wild card standings go top 3, right?
Yeah, look at that. Right now, Texas and Houston would be out, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It depends. You got one of these teams that's going to win the AL Central, between Baltimore and Tampa.
Okay, yeah. So that's not true. Okay, so
But whoever
Texas
doesn't
or
win,
Houston would be
Tampa's going to stay in there.
Right.
And you got Seattle right now, who's poised to win the West. Texas is going to get one of the spots. Houston is going to get another spot.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
and then
you're right,
Toronto. So basically,
Toronto's the
top
first team
6
out.
here.
Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't have 70 wins right now is out of the wild card.
No, Houston. Yeah, Houston is the last team that would be in with Minnesota winning the Central. So like Toronto's the first team out. I see that now. Okay.
Yep, but you got Minnesota down here coming shit up.
Right.
So Minnesota, if they win, they're going to knock one of the bottom 70s out. Even though they have a worse record, one of these teams, they're going to get in the playoffs and they won't.
Yeah.
Now on the other side of it, you got your 3 top. Everybody at the top here is top 3, with the Central being the lowest.
Did you guys mention it tonight?
Los Angeles, Milwaukee, and then you got the 3 after that are Philadelphia, Chicago, and Arizona.
Did the Cubs and Brewers play tonight?
Yes, but the Cubs lost 6-2.
Okay.
And that's a bummer. Now we're 4.5 games back. Or 3 games back. Oh, we needed to sweep this series, to be honest with you. You know what? Here though, one thing real quick. Sometimes teams peak a little early and go on that tear, that one fucking that tear of a season. And if the Brewers are doing that now, like the Cubs did, kind of like right after the All-Star break, if the Brewers are doing that now, that's going to run out. So we'll see, man. We'll see. September is going to be very interesting.
It's funny to me strange funny, that it's possible that 3 playoff teams come from the Central in the National League, and nobody would have thought that.
Well, yeah, because Cincinnati is 68 and 64 here too, and then it's like, okay, so they're not very far out from being in the mix here at all. You know what gets me? And then Miami, they can make a run. This is going to be a very interesting month because there are some teams that are within range. Cleveland, they shot themselves in the foot.
Look at the Mets. I think they were up 3-0 tonight, so they might have won. They probably won, but look at that. They're in last. Washington's ahead of the Mets. Oh my God, that's a real kick in the face.
Dude, the Mets, they had so much high aspiration for this year, and boy, did it all just blow up in their face. They're like the East version of the St. Louis Cardinals. When was the last time you saw the Cardinals? When was the last time you saw the Cardinals in last place?
But the Mets payroll is like $200 million more than the Cardinals was.
I know, but it doesn't matter. I know actually the Cardinals payroll is pretty fucking high. I mean, Goldsmith isn't cheap. Arenado's not cheap. I mean, they're paying Wainwright. It's they just paid up big for fucking Contreras.
It's at least 150 million more than the Cardinals. It might even be 200. I don't know how high the Cardinals payroll is.
I guarantee you one thing though is St. Louis's payroll is bigger than Milwaukee's.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's payroll's through the roof.
But they're doing all right.
They're doing all right though. Yeah, exactly. But let's look at see. Okay, who is going to get the first pick in the draft? Right now, it says Oakland. Then it goes KC.
Is it a
Then
lottery now, though?
is it lottery?
Yeah, I think the bottom three teams all have the same chance.
Okay, that's fine. But Colorado, so those three right there are going to get the same chance as we speak. But then leaking out a little bit, White Sox number 4, St. Louis number 5, Pittsburgh number 6, Detroit number 7. And that's everybody under 60 wins. All right, let's take a look at the leaders. Right now, WAR position, Mookie Betts, top guy, 7.4.
So that would be on pace for almost 9 for the season.
Yep. Well, his offensive WAR is 6.6, so he's got a 0.8 defensive.
Wander, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got the
I didn't
best
know he was such a
defensive
good
WAR
fielder
there.
too.
You got Luis Arias.
He might not even win the batting title now. He's got people nipping at his heels. Arise.
Yeah, who's right behind him?
Like Freeman, maybe Betts even. I can't.
Well, let's do this. Go 1 through 10 wins or replacements. You got Cunha. Kim from San Diego is 6.2.
They shouldn't have signed Bogarts.
No, they didn't need him.
They could have Cronenworth playing second, and then some bargain guy at first. They would have been just as good.
All right, so here's your WAR. Question is Kim more of an offensive WAR or a defensive WAR? Well, defensive WAR, 2.3%.
Probably
2.3%. He's a 5.9%. We should be a 2.3. What am I doing here? At least 3 points. All right, 4.5. All right, I'm getting myself all fucked. 4.5% offensive WAR with a 2.3 defensive WAR. That's a good fucking player.
Yeah. WAR loves him. I mean,
yeah.
But he's definitely a good player. I mean, he should be the shortstop.
But if he's like, even the offensive WAR, I mean, he's doing something right. He's stealing bases, getting walks, getting on base, that sort of thing. So he's got a better fucking offensive WAR than Juan Soto.
That's crazy.
Or Cody Bellinger. I mean, look at the people above him: Olsen, Carroll, Acuna, Freeman, and Betts.
If Kim had this year last year, I don't think they would have gone after Bogarts. They don't need Bogarts.
And it sounds like somebody needs to start paying attention to Kim. All of us.
All right, see Freeman's at 341.
All right.
So, Freeman could eclipse Arise. If Arise drops more.
Look at Bellinger's up to 321. What a fucking year. Look at Stott. Stott is at 296. He's number 7 in the league. McLean, a rookie, 290. That's another guy who's in running for the rookie of the year, even though he's probably not going to get it because Carroll still qualifies. Lane Thomas, 283. Harris. Which Harris is that?
Michael Harris.
Michael Harris.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot better.
For some reason, I wanted to say Willie Harris. That goes back ways.
Dodgers, Mets, right? Pinch hitter, is that the guy, Willie Harris?
Yeah. Freeman, best on base percentage. Cunha, Betts, Soto, Harper. Look at that. All that. Like top 4 guys over 400 on base percentage. That's fucking great.
I saw an at bat that Freeman had, just a nondescript at bat, an ordinary at bat, about a month ago. And he worked out a walk, I think, or he might have gotten a hit eventually. He fouled off a bunch of pitches, worked a full count. And I was like, that's the kind of at bat that, I mean, it was such a fantastic at bat. And I was like, that's the kind of at bat that you don't get from, from some of my favorite Met players.
Yeah. And then your slugging percentage is Betts, Olsen, Freeman, Acuna. Now, Betts, Jesus Christ. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at his lines. He's got 35 fucking home runs this year. I have not been paying attention to Mookie Betts at all this year. Yeah. What a fucking, this is your MVP right here. His OPS is over 1.018. And he's like 171 OPS plus. This is your MVP right now.
What they paid him, the Red Sox, I mean, it's hindsight now, but you know, they should have kept him. It's not like Verdugo's a bad player, but my God.
Dude, Boston fucked up. This was their
That's the
biggest
player
fuck
they
up
should
right here.
have kept more than anybody, you know?
I mean, now they're talking about fucking kicking Verdugo to the curb, you know? Oh, what did I just do? God damn it. Hold on, I gotta get back there again. I minimized the wrong screen. Amateur move. Okay. All right, here we go. Back. All right, so we got through. Okay, so the last thing we did was slugging, on base plus slugging. So you like look at Mookie Betts is top on both. Olson's right there, Freeman's right there. So top three, they kind of jumble around a little bit. Acuna is 4 across the board. Bellinger's 5 across the board. Alonso peaks in, Soto, Darrell Walker. You know, but wow, Soto is not even on slugging percentage, but he's also on base plus slugging. So he's not hitting as many home runs. Soto is. Carroll,
Soto's not in the top 10 slugging, huh?
no. But look at Carroll here on OPS plus slugging. Carroll and McLean are having fucking close years. But yet Carroll started the year up with Arizona and McLean came in 2 months after the start of the season. So 2, maybe 1.
Yeah, when did he get called out? I thought it was pretty early.
That was May. All right, not doing games played, not doing it fast plate appearances. Runs scored, Acuna, Betts, Freeman, Olson, Carroll, just the usual suspects. Korber, because he's a leadoff hitter. Hits, Freeman, Acuna, Aries, Betts, Thomas, Castellanos, Horner. Look at Horner at 7. First time we've seen him in this. Meneses, Mr. Meneses. 140. Stott, 141. Total base. Blair number 10, Arenado, Castellanos, Thomas, Walker, Riley, and your usual top 4 is going to be the same in almost everything. Candelario shows up second in doubles.
Doubles, yeah.
You got Christian Walker, who's 4. He shows up. William Contreras shows up for Milwaukee, number 7 with Mr. Meneses. And that just keeps reminding me of Rick and Morty. Hey, Mr. Meneses. Steer 9. Oh, he's just showing up. Triples. This will be interesting. Kettle Marte, number 2 is 7. Carroll is 8. Cronenworth 7. Will Benson 7 or 6. Ellie De La Cruz 6. But that Ellie De La Cruz is only 4 months of actually 3 months of the year. So if he played all season long, he'd be leading this whole thing. Brandon Marsh 6.
Not even 3 months, right? Ellie was like in June, like 2.5 months probably.
Yeah. Brian Hayes 6. McCarthy 5. Friedel 5. And Real Muto, the catcher, the one catcher and all this stuff, 5. With the wheels. There's your home run leaders. So Olson, Alonso, Schwarber, Betts, Soler, Riley, Muncy. Muncy keeps doing it. Zuna, Walker, Acuna, Albies. Albies with 28 home runs. That little fucker's got 28 home runs.
He's hurt now.
You got
right?
Ozuna, Acuna, and Albies all there. 29, 28, 28. Then you got Riley with 30. And then you got Olson with 43. There's
Albies
a
has been
reason
out
why
for
Atlanta's got the best team in the league. All their people fucking crank. Whoever their hitting coach is doing a great job. Or do
Albies
they
has been
just have the
hurt for
people
a
that can hit?
couple of weeks at least, right? They traded for that Nicky Lopez guy, and they needed him. It turned out, right? Albies, I think he's on the IL right now. I don't know if he's back.
Well, when you got 5 of the top 11 home run hitters in the league, how do you not fucking where you're at? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They could break the record.
Oh my God. It's stupid. Look at here's another one. Runs batted in. Olson, Albies. So 2 of those Albies, 90 runs batted in. You don't see Acuna up here or Azuña or Acuna because you would think you'd see Azuna, but not Acuna because Acuna leads off.
2 of the teams that the Braves could pass in homers this year set the record in 2019, the year that everybody hit a bunch of homers.
Yeah.
So if you adjusted it somehow, home runs plus, I've never seen that, but like they would be, they would win it now, even if they fall a little short.
Well, I'll tell you what, another one is like Matt Olson has got to be an MVP candidate. The amount of home runs he's leading, our runs batted in. What's his average at? Hold on,
It's not high, I don't think.
No, he's not in the running for average, but shit, he's got 2 out of the 3 for the Triple Crown. As far as walks go, he's got 84 walks to go along with all that shit. So I mean, Soto's number 1, Schwarber's number 2, and then you got Olson number 3. Happ shows up at 83. So he's number 4. McCutcheon in there. He shows up. Goldschmidt shows up. And then Lamonte Wade shows up. Lamonte Wade takes walks. Strikeouts, of course, Schwarber is leading. McMahon. I did not realize this. So I used to have all 3 of these guys at one point.
Yeah. Daddies.
No wonder why I got off to a slow start. Holy shit.
JD Davis is in the top 10.
But then you look at Olson here too. He's on the fucking list for the most strikeouts. That guy's he's in every category. All right, let's take a look at stolen bases, singles, adjusted OPS, and runs created. Cunha, 59. Carroll, 40. Horner, 34. Abrams, 34. Kim, 29. Yelich steals a lot. McCarthy, Friedel. I picked McCarthy up off somebody else's team and dropped him. And then he was sitting down in AAA for a little bit and then got brought up and then sent back down and got brought up again and then he kind of stuck with it. And now he's fucking leading.
Do you have players that you confuse, like the names or something like that? I mean, like I have guys that I can't keep them straight. And like Friedel, I noticed the other day, I was like, is he starting now? And I looked and he's a starting center fielder. I was like, God, I had him on my IL squad and I dropped him, but it wasn't Friedel, it was Fraley. Yeah.
Oh.
So
another Cincinnati outfielder with an
I can't keep these guys straight. Besides the Taylor Rogers thing, but there's players that it's almost not even that's logical. Fraley and Friedel, but there's players that I'm confusing that don't make a lot of sense. Why I'm like confusing them? I don't know, but anyways, I don't know. Does it happen to you? Do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Singles, the new one we got McNeil here for the Mets. Well, this just tells you some of the slap hitters. McNeil has got 100. Dominic Smith shows up at 91. And then Mr. Meneses. Dominic Smith, first baseman.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? There's no other Smith.
Yeah. Adjusted OPS, number 1 is Betts, 171. Freeman, the usual suspects, top 4. Those are going to be your top 4. And then 5, Soto's eking in. Bellinger, Carroll, Harper. Walker, Christian Walker, man. I had him a couple years back, and he just didn't come to fruition yet. Lonzo.
I like him. He's one of my favorites for some reason.
Christian Walker?
Yeah.
Runs created. Freeman. Acuna, Betts, Olson, the usual suspects. Then you got Soto. Pretty much keeps mirroring each other. Let's see if there's anything else we want to see here. Ground ball, ground plays grounded into. Oh, Arenado. Number 1, Soler. Number 2, Contreras. Baum, Bogarts, Gurriel, Riley,
A lot of good
McMahon,
players in that
Machado.
list.
I'm starting to reconsider my McMahon choice here. Going up on these bogus ass fucking lists. Caught stealing. Acuna. Actually, that's only because he steals so much. Same thing with Kim. But Alex Call, we didn't see him on anything. Suzuki, De La Cruz, he steals a lot. Bay for Pittsburgh. Brian Hayes steals quite a bit. He has a good number. So does Carroll. Warner does too. There's your guy Fraley. And Juan Soto had 5 as well.
Do you remember the Marcel projections written by a guy named Tom Tango? It's not his real name, and he doesn't want to divulge his real name.
All right, number 1, you're not selling me on this if you're trying to. So
selling you on what?
This Marcel fucking whatever.
No, I'm just asking if you're familiar with this guy. And he's brilliant. He's a brilliant guy. I mean, like, he's probably
his name is Tommy Tango.
Tom Tango. He's probably smarter than Bill James and all these guys. But he wrote an interesting article about why strikeouts don't matter as much as people think for pitchers and hitters, you know, because you see pitchers like that don't have high strikeout numbers and they're still doing well, even though they're putting more balls in play. But the article, it was really interesting. It says 76% of the time, there's no difference between a strikeout and a ball that's hit.
You know what the difference is, though?
But let me finish, though, because if you have 2 outs, there's no difference, right? Ground ball,
Right.
fly ball, strikeout. If the bases are empty, there's also no difference between a strikeout. So it's 76% of the time, there's no difference between a strikeout and a ball that's hit for an out. It's interesting. And there's actually some situations where a batted ball is worse than a strikeout. You know, if you have a double play possibility, you know, strikeout just gets you 1 out and a ground ball gets you 2. So it was interesting. Anyways, just to explain why these guys that strike out so much can be productive, and why, conversely, you know, these pitchers that don't have dominating strikeout numbers can actually still. It's definitely a fine line. You know, it's a hard.
When somebody doesn't
thread.
strike out, it lets me know how much of how good of control they have over their bat and their fucking mind.
But it's a too, right?
Strikeout is the biggest sign of failure in baseball, and I don't like the fact that a lot of people are diminishing that. You know,
that's
it's
what
almost
this
like
article is trying to counter, is the idea that strikeouts. This is why those non-dominant pitchers can be successful, and why hitters with high strikeout numbers can be very productive. You know, it's because 76% of the time there's no difference between the two.
Right.
I don't think we think of it like that. We think like, oh, he struck out with men on base. Could have, fly ball would have gotten him in. But that's a very small percentage of the time. Anyways, I just thought, it's a.
No, I mean,
like if you look
high
at
strikeout batters. Let me get this. High strikeout batters are striking out with guys on base, and it's not like there's nobody on base at the time and shit.
Right.
Those guys that don't strike out, the way I look at it is, the way I look at it is they have control over their bat. They can see pitches better. They take more walks. You know, they're doing other things. I just think strikeout, no, that's got to stay a bad stat. And even if you fucking fly it out to right, fly it out to center, in those situations, if you got a deep fly ball, it's an out. But maybe there's a guy at third that can get in. You know, right. And it doesn't count as a bat.
The majority of time, that's not the case.
But here's the thing, though. They got to figure, you can't just fucking number up everything. You can't. Statistics may say this, statistics may say that, but you want a guy that's not going to fucking strike out. Because he's going to do.
If you are selling out,
he's going to give you an avenue to succeed in 3 other spots where a strikeout is just 1.
If you're selling out to hit homers and you're doing it and you're hitting 40 homers,
you don't have to sell it.
It's worth the price. It's
Well,
worth
if
the
you got a guy on first base and you hit a double, that guy can score. So it's not all about hitting home runs. Here's the thing though, is we got so far into these fucking numbers and shit and all this fucking Bill Smith shit and all that other stuff. We've got the basics of baseball, you know. I don't think a lot of it accounts for a guy at first base or second base, when this guy decides to fucking strike out or rip a fucking shot down the line,
You know what I'll do? I'll send you the article.
It takes the impersonality out of it.
I'll send you the article because a lot of the time that a player comes up, there's 2 outs or there's nobody on base. In both those situations, a strikeout's the same as a ground out or a fly out. So
exactly, but
we're thinking of these situations where there's a runner at third with 1 out or no outs, and that doesn't happen as much.
I would rather see somebody make contact than strike out. Unless there's a guy at first base and you're hitting a fucking weak grounder to the fucking shortstop, and that's going to turn into a double play. I mean, there are situations, but I would much rather see a guy make contact than whiff all the fucking time. Because you know what? As a fan, when you see that fucking guy go up that's whiffed 166 times throughout the year, and he's going up there with the bases loaded, and you really need this win, how good do you feel at that moment?
Yeah, but
we got to look at it the fans' perspective. I mean, as well. I mean, it just, I don't know.
Let's say Joe Strikeout comes up with 2 outs and nobody on, and he sells out to try to hit a homer. That's a good move if you've got the power to do it.
Depends on the situation.
What if he's Jeff McNeil and he slaps a hit to left field and he gets on first? 2 outs, runner on first. He's not going to score anyway. So you want your guys selling out. I mean, it depends on the situation. Obviously, some guys can do both.
Well, it depends on what's the situation in the game. It's a tie. Is it are you up by 2?
Yeah, there's definitely situations where a strikeout is worse. Yeah. But I'm saying the article was saying that over 3/4 of the time, barely over 3/4 of the time, there's no difference between a strikeout and a ground out or whatever, So you may as well, if you've got the power, you may as well try to hit a homer in those situations, and you're going to strike out more often.
Wow, did you see this? All right, hold on. Get back to this stolen base percentage. Trey Turner has not been thrown out all year, and he's got 23 stolen bases for the year. So Trey Turner is 23 for 23 this year. Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah.
Now you got Freddie Freeman over here is 94.44. And he's only stolen 17 bases, which is pretty good. So he's stealing them when he knows he can steal them. And then OPS is at 998.
I wish John was here. He could tell us what Freddie Freeman's sprint speed is, because I bet you it's not that great.
Yeah. I raced him one time when I was down in Atlanta.
No, but I mean, like Freeman is obviously, I'm guessing, is not stealing bases because he's so fast. He's stealing bases because he knows how to do it well.
There's a power speed number.
He's just a fantastic player. He's just fantastic.
So this is
the Braves get rid of him and they bring in Olsen, and it's it's a wash, I guess.
So here's a power and speed number. Acuna, Carroll, Lindor, Kim is showing up again. Woo. Abrams and Turner. Turner's not had that good of a year.
Yeah, those not a bad player in that list.
At bats per strikeout. So the higher you go, the less strikeouts there were. Aries 15.7, and then look at that, it dropped off to 10 after that. Wow. And then you got Ruiz from Washington at 10, McNeil, Garcia, Cunha, Horner. Horner doesn't strike out a whole lot. There's Bellinger, Stott, Baum,
Ruiz is Zotti's catcher that came over in one of the the Scherzer Turner deal or whatever. I mean, they got a good catcher out of it.
Now
they didn't need him, right? They got Will Smith and Diego Cartaya. So
you got Olsen here at bat per home run, 11.3, and the next guy is Pete Alonso. So you're welcome, Lou.
I got Big Dumb Pete on my team.
Big Dumb Pete.
He sure can hit homers.
Then you got Muncy, Schwarber, Soler, Betts, Azuña, Martinez. Who the fuck's Martinez? Which Martinez is that?
Martinez.
Hold on. JD Martinez. I
Oh,
forgot all
JD.
about him.
Yeah. I was like, I can't think of who.
I've never seen Martinez without the fucking initials in front of it. Gorman showing up. Albies. And then outs made. This is interesting. Biggest
I don't know.
outmakers. And you know, a lot of this shit has to do with
That's
them.
just like
That's
that's just
being
how
at the
many
top of
times
the
you're up.
batting order. All right, let's go to pitching real quick and then call it quits.
I'm gonna send you that Tom Tango article because you need to read it.
Okay. When's above replacement? Oh, Jesus Christ. What do we I thought we were in pitching. Fuck is this?
It's just National League. Do Major League.
Why is this wins above replacement of Betts, Acuna, and Freeman showing up under wins? Oh, for all. Okay. So WAR for pitchers, you got Gallon at 4.2, Webb, Snell, Wheeler, Kelly.
Jeff, do you want to look at Major Leagues altogether? Because you're just looking at National League right now.
Am I really? Yeah, I am. Was I looking at National League for the other one too?
Oh my God, I hope not.
Well, it was all National League teams.
I didn't notice before.
God damn it. Yeah, we saw Otani nowhere. It was all Betts and fucking Olsen and
yeah.
I give up. All right. That's what it looks like. Otani's number one. Then Betts, Acuna, Kim, Freeman. But for the most part, the National League is ruling the roost on this shit. War for pitchers. Got Cole, Gray, Gallon, Otani. Cole has got a better WAR. So is Gray.
Kyle Bradish.
Otani had a 4.0. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have dropped him, but I didn't think they were going to put the IR on him. I didn't think they were going to put the IL on him because it's like he wasn't really designated for the IL.
I wouldn't fret over too much. He's not going to pitch next year, I don't think, anyway.
No, it's a foregone thought.
But as far as Chris just picking him up to stash him on his IL, why the hell not, right?
Yeah. If you want to stow him for a while, I'm not the guy. I didn't think of it. Here's the thing, though. If they would have put him on the IL, if I knew they were going to put him on the IL,
I
probably would have stashed him there too.
I didn't even think about it. That is odd.
But then you got he's going to go up for in the auction next year. Or you can keep him at 20. Not going to do. So, I mean, the IL doesn't protect him from being available.
Right.
All right. Earned run average, Snell, Steele. So that's like, again, what I was telling you. Steele, 2.8. ERA has a lot to do with this shit.
He's
got the second best ERA, and I have Snell, Steele, and Gallon. And why is my pitching at 7? I'm in 7th and 8th and 9th place in the league in pitching. I mean, I got Snell late, but I've had Steele and fucking Gallon all year. It's my other guys have been so fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's like, that's what the league is really about. It's like keeping your bottom end up,
it's Dylan Cease. That's what's killing me. Wins, Strider, Gallon, Steele. Eflin Gibson, Morton Walker. And then Bassett, Gilbert. Gilbert, I you know what? That was one of the ones that were like bugged me when I lost him in the draft this year. Kramer, got Kramer too. Nola, Scherzer. Oh, let's see here. Here's a whip. Best whip is Castillo, Kirby, 2 guys in Seattle. Eflin, Cole, Gilbert. Look at this. All like top 5 is all American League. Then you get Strider, Gallon, back to American League, Otani, Wheeler, and Burns. Strikeout per 9 innings. I knew this was going to happen. Strider, he's got the filthiest shit out there. Gaussman for Toronto. Now, Peralta, Otani, Ryan, Lopez, Singh. Cease has got filthy shit, but he just fucking grooves one once in a while. It just destroys him.
Yeah.
Saves. Passe, Class B, Diaz, Doval, all 34. Tista Romano, Williams, Jansen, Estevez, Presley, Bednar, Sewell. Strikeouts, of course, Strider's going to be number one. It's pretty much the same shit you had in strikeouts for.
Pablo Lopez.
Yeah, he got in there.
He wasn't even a dominant strikeout pitcher last
Well,
year with
Keller.
the Marlins.
Keller for Pittsburgh. He's in there.
Yeah.
Game started.
I don't understand Keller.
These are the guys that haven't gotten hurt all year.
Yep, that's nice.
That's basically that. Shutout. You got Framber Valdez with 2. God damn it. I'm trying to get this little fucking thing out of the corner here. He's got 2 and everybody else got 1. Because you know what? Unless you throw a goddamn no-hitter or perfect game, it's very rare you're going to get a complete game shutout. Unless you like probably 3 hits or under. Managers pull the plug on these guys like crazy. It really depends on, I guess, their pitch count at the time, too. Amount of home runs given up. Lance Lynn, 34.
Jordan Lyles.
He didn't give a fuck for the White Sox. Sears from Oakland.
What's his first
Aaron
name?
Nola.
JP or something?
JP Sears, yep.
Yeah.
Jordan Lyles. Kopech, 28. Corbin and Giolito, 27.
Trevor Williams for the Nationals, former Cub, right?
Yeah. Kramer's been giving up 25, Wells 25, Freeland, Gomber, Smiley 25, man. And Scherzer 25.
So all these guys are the guys that have good whips that you're wondering, why is their ERA so high?
Yeah. Now on the walks side of it, Cease, that's what's killing him this year. And Kopech. Now too, for that matter. With a lot of walks is what's kind of held them back. But they got filthy shit, man. It's like you get that umpire that's not going to give you the corners and stuff. They're going to fucking die on the vine. Oviedo Manoa, another one giving up a lot of walks. He's given up 59 walks, but he's been in AAA for a while. So I mean, it's like, okay, where would he be? He'd be at the top of the fucking list here if it wasn't for that. Waldichuk for Oakland. Most hits given up: Mikolas, Corbin, Webb, Gibson, Freeland, Alcantara, Gomber, Lynn, Singer, and Keller. Strikeouts for base on balls. Kirby's fucking top. Wow, that's by far. What a good pitcher. He's got 10 strikeouts per 1 base on ball.
That's a ratio?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should look at strikeouts minus walks percentage. That's much better than the ratio.
Yeah, still gives you a good idea. Home runs per 9. Ray is the least, man. Nobody can hit a home run off him. He's like 0.36. And Justin Steele. Ground ball pitcher. You got Gallen here, Cease, Valdez, Elder, Senga, Bradish, and Morton.
These are the guys that aren't getting hurt as much with their walks, right? I mean, that's a nice.
Yeah, they're not giving up the long ball as much. Most losses. Guys to stay away from next year. Kopech, 11.
So Greinke's got to be done, right? His ERA is like 5.3. He's like 3-12 or something.
He's
1-12. Oh my God!
He's gonna be 40 years old next year. I have a hard time thinking that anybody is going to sign him other than
Well,
KC.
no, it'll be the Royals or nothing. But he should just retire. I mean, it's time.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's been terrible. His career's over, and just retire. You're 40 years old. you're not doing KC any favors, and then you're just like the people in KC just want you to retire. And you got to know they do.
I mean, he had a purpose this year, but not after this year.
All right, here's your main plunkers. JP Sears hits people a lot. So does Bassett, Otani, Kopech, Ashcraft. You don't want to get hit by Kopech, I'll tell you that. That guy throws like 100. Ashcraft too. All gets away from these boys. And in Syndergaard, he had a bunch of them as well. Yeah. Wild pitches.
Senga.
Yeah, Otani and Senga. They're just going for it. Elder, Snell, Glasnow, Medina. Steele's on that list. That's, I mean, I'm sure some of that right there is kind of like hurt me at times. The amount of earned runs, Lyle, Lynn, Gibson, Gomber, Singer, Nicholas. That's pretty much it, man. What a year. We still got 1 month to go. So
I was gonna see if I could.
I'm on vacation next week. I don't have to. After Friday, I don't have to go back to work till the 11th.
Oh, that's nice.
So you get the double weekend with a full week, and it comes out to like 10 days, 9 days.
I'm gonna share this. Just the
10.
rookies.
Yeah, 9 days.
So rookie pitchers. Senga in the National League 2.9, War, Hunter Brown, the American League 2.3, but I don't think the rookies of the year are going to come from the pitchers anyway. So let's look at hitters. This will be quick. I'm just looking at rookies. So won't take
How much
forever.
do you pay for your Fangraphs thing?
I think it's like 20, 25 a year, something like that.
25 a year? That's not bad.
Yeah. And so, yeah, rookie of the year, still Corbin Carroll, Matt McLean's, according to War, is still pretty far behind.
Like Gunnar Henderson took himself to the top.
Yeah,
Him
Gunnar
and
Henderson,
Luke
American
Raley are
League.
like neck and neck.
Yeah, Luke Raley is right next to him. And
Here's
Young,
the thing though.
I
Luke Raley,
don't know when.
look at the plate appearances compared to Gunnar Henderson. All right.
Oh, I would have thought Gunnar had less.
Yeah. And then Luke Raley has way more fucking stolen bases too.
So
even in less plate appearances.
Raley could get it, yeah. Is Young out now? I mean, is he
look at the BABIP for Luke Raley is 337. Gunnar Henderson's 301. And then your on base percentage is better for Luke Raley. Your average is better for Luke Raley, and your slugging's better for Luke Raley.
The fact that this is lower would be good news for Gunnar, though, possibly, you know. Is Young out for the rest of the year or a long time? Is he coming back? What's going on with him?
I don't know. Don't know.
So yeah, it's looking like these two guys in the American League, Gunnar and Luke Raley, unless Young comes back soon.
Hey, Jose Cowboy.
Joe Cowboy's up here.
Joe Cowboy. That's another one. It's like Hank White. It's Jose Caballero. So Caballero, I believe in Spanish is cowboy, right?
Yeah. It's Caballero.
And then Jose
Cowboy,
is
yeah.
Joe. So it's Joe Cowboy.
Yep. Yeah, that's what Phil said. So it looks like Carroll's going to win the Rookie of the Year, and then probably Gunnar, right? As long as the Orioles,
I don't know, man.
Continue to do well.
It really depends on how Luke Raley spends the rest of the league. Spends the rest of the year out. You know.
But I think Gunnar's got more name recognition right now.
He's going to be a keeper for me next year. That's for sure.
Yeah. Look at this, Kerry Carpenter for the Tigers.
Well, he came out of nowhere. all of a sudden it's like boom, and then he hit a grand slam against the Cubs late in the game. I mean, the Cubs came back and won, but I mean, that kid is like I never saw him coming. I didn't see him on any of
No, I don't know. I don't know who he is.
no. Sometimes somebody just like comes out of the woodwork and fucking goes nuts.
I mean, my flawed way of doing this is like I know a lot before the season starts, and then once the season starts, I'm like I'm what's the word, myopic? Is that the
Yeah.
word? Like if I had Alonso and Goldschmidt to start the year at first base, I wouldn't notice anybody that came along at first base because I'm not looking at that. I'm all focused on closers and starting pitchers and whatever positions I suck at. like,
Right.
like catchers, I'm not probably going to notice too much. So,
Well, my goal was try to get the back into fifth place, but I don't think I'm going to get there. I think I'm going to go fall a little bit short.
well, sixth to eighth is still sixth. You can definitely do. I don't know what did
Oh,
the
I know.
models have you at now?
Well, I'm only 1 point behind two guys. I'm only
Yeah,
one win
yeah.
behind two guys, so I can leapfrog. If I have
McBride's
a
are
good week, if I have a good week this week, I can leapfrog Bizzotti and Bing.
yeah, because that's what happened this past week to you. I mean,
Yeah.
and McBride's down the stretch. They're going to pay the piper at some point with their overage, their pitching overage. So
What is the what? Okay, is the amount of innings pitched in our league, is that a set number, or do we have overflow?
on Yahoo it's 1650,
Yeah.
and we have you don't get penalized until you go after over 1658.3, I think it is.
Okay, so they got 1650 and we're 1658.3.
Yeah.
So we get like 8 extra innings.
Yep.
Okay. All right, just good to know. And for anybody listening out there, good to
Yeah.
know.
So your last week, you want to like try to go out with a bang if you can. Try to go out where you're going to go out with 1658.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably get through 1658 way before the last week. I'm not gonna have a pitching staff for the final week or two, depending.
Yeah, it's only
I don't know. It
30
just
games
seems like
left.
it seemed like last week I didn't have a whole lot of pitching going, but yet my numbers didn't drop a whole lot either. Kind of like, what the fuck?
I ended up losing a start because of Otani. I had Tyler Anderson on my bench, and he came up and mopped up for Otani, and he actually did better than he would in a normal start. He had like 4 1/3 or 4 2/3 innings. I think he allowed just one run. So for Anderson, like 11 points, whatever he had, 14 points, I can't remember. But I missed out. He was on my bench because he's not supposed to start till like 2 days after that.
Yeah.
But he came in. I mean, it's just luck of the draw that he was on my bench. I could have had him up, in one of those dead spots and starting pitching, but he wasn't. He was on my bench, and I was like, ah, shit. And then he skipped his start then because that was his start basically. So not a big deal, but I mean, still it was annoying. Actually,
Yeah.
I would have gone 6-0 if he had just by luck been on my starting roster. I would have gone 6-0 instead of 5-1. So it did affect things, but you can't cry over it because things
No.
like that happen all year long. So.
Oh, been a long year, man. Oh shit.
Yeah, well, this was fun. We started this April 4th. I can't remember the first one. It was something like that.
Yeah. It was like after the first full week or after the second full week. I can't remember.
Next year we'll just have people on right away. So instead of like the third time, we'll have it on the first time. So we'll cycle through guests quicker than we did this time. So
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah.
I don't know. Do we still do it on Mondays?
Yeah, I like to do it on Monday because that's when the standings came out and it's more like, fresh.
Right. All right. Well, we have to keep the hours. We have to have more of a set time to finish because sometimes, man, it just starts my week off crazy.
I
And
think this
I end
year,
up tired on Tuesday, and then it just hand down the road after that.
I think there's stuff that we talked about that we'll probably won't talk about again because it was the first time, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I always thought like an hour and 20 was going to be our target, and we've never done an hour and 20. You know, not since like April has there been an hour and 20. You know.
No, because once we get going, we forget about fucking time, and next thing you know, you look down, you're like, holy shit, we got on here about 3 hours ago.
Well, this one will still be under
That
3 hours.
one that was 4 hours long a couple weeks ago, I was like, holy fuck.
I think it was like 4.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy, absolutely crazy.
It took a long time for that shit to decompress and all that other stuff, so I just had to let the computer run and do its thing.
But now you got your Monday nights free. Watch a little Monday Night Football, and you won't be on podcast till well for me it's midnight now, so it's already the 29th.
I think we just we set one of these up for right after the World Series, or maybe during Game 7 of the World Series, or like around the end of the World Series, like depending on, so we can talk about who you think's gonna win and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
What do you
Chris's
think?
idea. Was like to have like a watch party, but I thought we would. I didn't want to like not watch the game and do this instead. You know.
Well, we can all have it in the background and stuff like that, and react, and it's almost like having like you could have like 7 or 8 guys watching the same thing in the background and stuff, and just reacting to what's going on, and be able to talk to one another during the game. So it's like
It'd be
having a
better,
watch party, but it's a virtual watch party. I'll have it on TV, but then we're just talking.
or you could have like people gather. You know, come over to your place to watch something and be a bunch of people. You know.
I have no problem with that. I've got the space. I can do that.
Well, we'll
Well,
figure it out.
anyway, time for me to go.
Yep.
Dog is like trying to fucking he's licking me, he's nudging my elbow, he's doing everything he can to get my attention right now, and I think he needs to take a dump because he hasn't taken one yet.
All right, Jeff. Well, I guess I'll see you in October or November, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Uh we'll talk before then though.
Oh yeah. Good luck in your fantasy football draft.
Good luck to everybody going forward, except for Phil. He doesn't need any luck. He's already won the league. But anybody jockeying for position at this point, good luck. And that's all I got.
Are you still thinking McCaffrey number one?
Yeah. It's a PPR league. I looked at Justin Jefferson, McCaffrey. He had 40 less receptions and 900 less yards as a receiver, but he also had so many yards as a rusher with so many touchdowns, where Jefferson didn't have any rushing yards per touchdown.
But McCaffrey, it's not
So
production. It's like if he
for
stays
my league,
healthy,
for
you've
my
made the
league,
right choice.
it's that's pretty much it. But here's the fucking thing: Justin Jefferson can get fucking hit the wrong way this year and go down for the year. You know what I mean? So
But he
it's
hasn't
possible with
yet,
any
though,
fucking
right?
offensive player in the league, they can all get hurt.
Yeah, but McCaffrey's already done it 2 different years where he ruined people's fantasy seasons, right?
I know, but here's the thing though. If I don't take him first, I will have no running backs. I mean, you go fucking one, you go 24, 25. And
What
unless
about
I'm
Eckler?
very savvy, huh?
What about Eckler?
Oh no, I'm not going with Eckler. I like McCaffrey better. I like that San Francisco offense better. Especially under Zach Purdy.
I'd rather pick. I'm sure you agree. I'd rather pick later and get like maybe Pollard or something.
My sweet spot is 4 and 8. That's
Where
what
do
I
you
like.
think? Where do you think Pollard will go?
Oh, he might be 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
Wouldn't you rather pick there?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Be honest with you, because then it's like, oh, it's on the turnaround. I'll have a great receiver and a great running back.
Now,
Always,
why don't you allow teams to trade draft positions?
we're a redo every year.
I know,
It's
but
just
why?
there's
If you
one
don't
set
like
of rules.
if
The
you
only
don't like
thing is,
number one and you can find somebody that wants to trade for it, why don't you allow that?
because it's just a friendly bar league and it's only $50, and it's just meant to be like super simple, just a fun league. And even every year, it doesn't matter if you wind up in last place or first place, there's no keepers. It's
I
just a
understand
race.
that, but
But
I'm
here's
saying,
the
like,
thing.
what if a guy has three and he goes like, I want to pick Jalen Hurts first. I
Because
want number one.
the thing is with the draft order, it's a redo every year. Your name goes into a hat and we jumble it and pick the
I
draft
know.
order every year.
After you've taken that, why don't
No,
you allow after the draw? Why don't you allow people to trade draft order?
it complicates things, man. It's like we're not gonna do that. It just you
It's
get
not
your
that
draft order,
complicated.
draft your team, see the best man wins.
I
It's
mean,
just it's the
up
most
until like,
uncomplicated, easy peasy
all
league.
right, but I'm just saying up until a week beforehand or something. So it's not like the draft night. Like, why couldn't you trade your number three for number one? I'd rather pick three, so I want that. And this guy's like, I want one because I want to take whoever, Jalen Hurts.
No, you're stuck with what you get. It's locked, and you got to work with what you got. It's it's a fun league. I mean, it's been going on for shit. I think 14 years.
You should live stream your draft. Is it at Lemmings?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing though. It's like if I've got I'm on doing the computer. I'm doing the draft on the computer. It's on
Oh,
Yahoo and shit. You're picking and stuff like that. It's like I don't want to. I'm streaming. I'm taking that in already, and then to stream on this computer, it will just lock it up and I'll be
you
fucked.
could set it up on another computer.
Yeah, not important enough for me.
You know that Paul has to do his other league at the same time, I guess?
He can do it. He probably have two windows open, but he'll be doing it from Lemmings and then
Yeah.
drafting for the other league. Well, hey, does
He
it
said,
help him?
football's easy. He said,
Does it help him or does it hurt him?
it doesn't help him, I don't think.
I wouldn't think so either. But he's going to be watching.
But he said it's easy. Football's easy. No big deal.
Yeah. All right, this guy's fucking bugging the shit out of me again.
All right, Frankie.
He needs to go for a WALK.
If it wasn't for Frankie, we'd never got off of here. He's a good influence.
Look at this guy. Like right up in my ass
Hey,
right now.
Frank.
Going, see him?
Ah,
What?
he's a good boy. He's like trying to emotion you, like it's like you don't understand. He's like, God damn, this guy's so stupid. I want him to take me outside. Doesn't he understand?
Rizzo! Yes? Is that a yes? I was I? All right, man.
All right,
Hey,
Jay Sky.
love you, buddy.
See you
I
soon.
will talk to you later, and yeah, I'll send this over, and then you'll probably have to ask me to. Actually, I put a fucking thing on there last time. It said share with this person, and it didn't go
Yeah,
through, and then you had to ask me again. So
I know.
whatever. But have a great night, and I will
All right.
talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Probably on the phone.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right, bye.